My name is Jai Zoon Pollock.
I'm Phoebe.
I'm Bay.
My name's Kai Brooks.
I'm Void. I play for Mindfreak.
I'm Evelyn and I'm the coach of Mindfreak. Our prep's been pretty good. We've been playing a lot of Asian scrims recently, focusing more on just trying to play against as many different playstyles as we can.
It probably looks pretty weird from the outside, of course. It is kind of players who haven't played together a lot, coming together, and especially young players.
We have this new identity almost. I think we're really confident in our new team. Even though it's just the beginning, I see a good future for the team.
We're able to get some good results against teams in Australia, but none of these have been VRS events, and they certainly haven't been any LANs.
I think we should win, to be honest, as long as we play our game. And we're a bit more of an aggressive team, hopefully put some more flair out there and make it a lot more enjoyable to watch.
You never know what's going to happen at the end of the day. If you get to a grand final, nerves start getting to you.
I think FlyQuest are expected to come in here and tour everyone.
TDU, opening matchup. I'd say we could take them.
I think it'll be close though, but I think we might edge it out a bit.
They should be rooting for Mindfreak because we're the underdogs and it's always fun to root for the underdogs.
We've definitely got something to play for and something to show out for.
We're all dope as fuck and we're gangsters and we're gonna fucking win.
Alright, we're here with Mindfreak after an unfortunate bow out, guys, but you made it all the way to the playoffs. How do you feel?
Honestly, pretty good. Bit bummed out about the last game, but the run was great, so pretty hype.
You have to flash back to the start of the tournament. Mindfreak versus Thunder. How did you guys feel? A little bit of an unfortunate start, but how do you shake off a rough one like that? Phoebe, how do you feel?
I mean, a team like TDU kind of leaps and bounds ahead of everyone else in Osh. Maybe not that far, but they've gone to the major. Realistically, we know that we're going to be the underdog and we have nothing to lose in a game like that. So it's pretty easy to dust ourselves off. And I think we knew we were going to play Abyssal next, and we're pretty confident against them. So it's pretty easy to reset. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, of course, went on to that Abyssal match, pretty comfortable. Then you guys had to face down Rooster. How a little bit of a closer affair, but you guys got it done. Knocking down, Rooster, probably one of the heavy favourites in a tournament like this, right?
Yeah, they're definitely a favourite to make it to deeper stages, so it was pretty hyped to beat them. We hadn't really played them before, so we didn't know how it was going to go. A lot of teams we have played before a lot, even Thunder, I think we played once or twice, but to play Rooster and just play so well, to be honest. We just kind of outclass them, I think, a bit, and it was really fun, so it's good.
Yeah, Bay, how did you feel about that one?
Honestly, it was a lot of fun. My first LAN. Hiding Rooster was a lot of fun. Phoebe helped beat Sight a lot. It made Sight really easy.
Yeah, and of course, looking towards the future after a LAN like this, you guys feel confident, steps forward going into the next few LANs, of course, maybe in the future. Do you guys feel like you're on the right track?
Yeah, no, for sure. We got so much VRS from this LAN. It's kind of insane. So I don't know. We got together pretty recently. We have a lot of stuff we need to work on, for sure. We're all really aware of it. So it'll be good to get back to pracking and grinding and I don't know, working on our issues, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Thanks, guys. Thank you for the interview. Yeah.
Thunder, Down Under.
My name is Christopher Dexter Nong.
My alias is Rudian. My name Eddie Azzi.
My name's Tyson ASAP Patterson.
Leaz, and my team is Thunder Down Under.
Tynan Pertel.
My name's Alistair and I play for Thunder Down Under. I would have been about 10 or 11 playing. Everyone's got the same bullshit story. Everyone's older brother got them into it, played at net cafes and all that jazz.
It's me watching my brother play Counter-Strike. He launches in the competitive 40-minute game and I'm like, that's forever.
And I'd play gun game all night, like for hours after school, and it was the funnest game mode ever.
Nerves are always an issue, and especially against Australian opposition. You want to be able to prove something. On turf that we've played at before, everything's relaxed.
It's always going to be hard, but it's like we're a pretty talented group of guys, so...
Personal rivalry, I think it would just have to be FlyQuest.
It'll be a good match for us because we've been playing a decent amount.
You need to kind of like verse these teams and be like, oh, they're not nearly as scary as you think.
They think it's tactical, but they're playing checkers and we're playing chess.
Yeah, we'll probably win.
Paralyzed.
My name's Kalen, or Slimy. I play for Ground Zero. I've shown the last 2 Oz lands and that I've been comfortably in the top 3 rated players. I'd like to get that again.
I'm Hazard. I'm pretty much a veteran at this point. I want to be the rock of the team, you know. We're a bit of an underdog. I think it'd be cool if we won. We're all here to play the video game we love, so...
I'm Apoc Dud. Playing with people I actually like is important, which is why I've been playing with the same players for quite a while. Anything below 3rd would be an absolute disappointment. Fucking hate losing to people, particularly people I think are worse than me.
I'm Michela. I only started playing on like an actual PC in like 2019, 2018. It's just nice to have players that are experienced. It just brings a lot of calmness in like the hectic situations. Like we're still relatively new as a team. We're here to win, obviously, but we're not going to be hard on ourselves if things don't go our way.
Tux. Ground Zero. The appeal for Ground Zero was the stability that they had. If you're under pressure, you feel like they're playing better than you can really crumble. So we have to just have a mindset of playing to win, always playing to win, full energy into it, and don't worry about anything else.
Good vibes. We're good people. We try our best. We dedicate our lives to this stuff, so good fun.
My name's Vexar and I play for FlyQuest. I started playing CS in about 2016. My first LAN was in like a theatre and it was pretty cooked. Yeah, that's probably the earliest memory I got.
I'm Nidic from FlyQuest. I think I started playing CS when I was like 7 or 8 years old, playing like Counter-Strike Source on my dad's computer. That's like where it all started for me.
Hey, I'm Gratisfaction and I'm subbing for FlyQuest. I think I started playing in like 2013. They just replaced their last AWPer and needed someone for this event, so that's why I'm here.
My name is Inns and I play for Team FlyQuest. My first CS experience as a player was in Sydney when I was about 15. My parents didn't want me to go because they thought I was getting scammed or like meeting up with someone weird. Yeah, that was a cool experience, meeting a lot of people and my teammates and stuff like that.
My name is Justin, alias JKS, and I play for FlyQuest. I probably started playing Counter-Strike 2003 when I was a kid. I guess you could say like professionally when I joined Vox in 2013 or 14. We have some pretty likable characters in the team. We're the team that's kind of like forerunning the Oceania scene overseas. That's probably the main reason as to why people should support us, because we're kind of like holding the flag for the scene. Other than that, just root for us because, I don't know, we're a good team.
I mean, I think there's always pressure when you come back to the Australian region and compete, but you just have to ignore that, really.
We're meant to come here and I guess dominate, and I think we will do that, so it's not going to be a problem.
Hopefully we just slam some ass and that's it.
Nerves are always an issue.
We're meant to come here and dominate, it's not going to be a problem.
Calling it a Cinderella story doesn't do it justice, because I think we are like a serious team, and this is kind of our first real chance to prove it.
very good team. I think most people don't see us very high, but I think we're going for like top 4 or something. I think we can do it.
Let's just beat FlyQuest and see how far we go, you know?
Well fucking played! We're gonna fucking win. I believe we can like make playoffs, which might be a bit outlandish.
I think we would need to be like on our game. We'd have to be really sharp.
We're the underdog. We're gonna try and prove some people wrong.
Just looking for Zer's looking for more. He picks up 3.
Anything above top 4 is like we're playing with house money, I guess.
Slimy's absolute beast. He's got so much natural talent, so I know he'll do well.
Slimy, he's still on the walkabout. Just let Slimy do it all here. Down towards lowers, he'll find all 3. Slimy will slime them out.
Anything can happen. We have really good players.
Fucking lost the arcade last time, for God's sake, so anything could happen.
We're here to win, obviously.
Don't talk to me if we come 4th or below.
There we go. Great blowing of the smoke. APOC Duds just stepped up.
My God.
He's back.
We have some pretty likable characters in the team. We're the team that's kind of like forerunning the Oceania scene overseas. We're kind of like holding the flag for the scene.
Gratisfaction, still as sharp as ever. Gratisfaction, the 4 looking for the ace, and he'll get it.
I mean, I think there's always pressure when you come back to the Australian region and compete, but you just have to ignore that, really. We're feeling confident going in.
I don't feel like there's any pressure, honestly. I'm here, I'm playing, it is what it is. It's nice to be back at home.
You can't discount what got us to where we are. Versus these teams, they're not nearly as scary as you think.
We show up on the day, we bring good energy, and we should come out on top.
Especially against Australian opposition. You want to be able to prove something.
The 2 versus 1 here. But Alistair's going to take his fights. Alistair coming up big.
They think it's tactical, but they're playing checkers and we're playing chess.
Yeah, we'll probably win.
Grand final day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back here to the HyperX Intel Nationals 2026. We've got the meat and potatoes coming up of this tournament. Gentlemen, a quick idea on your thoughts heading into this grand final between GZ and FlyQuest.
It's grand finals day, baby. Anything can happen. Anything will happen. And I'm looking forward to, I guess, ground zero, their resurgence after yesterday, finally overcoming TDU in what felt like this never-ending story of being beaten into the dirt. So I'm hoping there's maybe a redemption arc for them against a pretty strong FlyQuest.
A very strong FlyQuest. Harry, do you reckon GZ have a chance here to potentially have one of the greatest upsets that this region has ever had?
Well, they're there, so they've got every chance for it. And look, they showed it last night, beating out Thunder Down Under, as we do have a look at that tournament bracket from yesterday. Results seemingly going what we thought the way it would to start things off, but that big one below, Ground 0-2 over Thunder Down Under 1. I mean, as you said, Jim, it was finally them getting over that hurdle. That so many times they've been close to them, they've been beaten down in the dirt, but they're here and now. They have that chance at glory, But yeah, that FlyQuest squad is a very tough one to get past.
It is a very, very tough one to get past. Now, gentlemen, we've got 2 teams in the grand final, but we did start with 8. 6 teams have been sent packing, and of course, we figured that we may as well have a bit of a look at the journey that we've taken to get here. How were they sent home? That is the very, very big question. And that Group A, it was a group that we were looking at, and we were going, this will be the group of death very early on, and it definitely proved to be.
Look, yeah, in a group of death, someone always dies. Isn't that the case for certainly Rooster and Abyssal? Mind Freak, I think, were probably the real surprise package for me coming out of Group A, sorry. But, Rooster, I think, surprised for all the wrong reasons. Certainly not as strong as they were probably hoping to be. And I think that, that matchup where they had to play Thunder Down Under was always going to be fiery. But as far as I guess this group's concerned, it played out basically how we thought it would up until Mindfreak decided to fire up and I guess play some Counter-Strike we knew that they were capable of. We saw glimpses of it throughout our time watching them on stream, but unfortunately we didn't get to see that match on stream, but we heard it downstairs and we knew that something was going on, something big was happening, and turns out Mindfreak were the ones delivering.
Yeah, I mean, I think for that Group A in particular, a bit of disappointment from Abyssal. Do you see that they've got any sort of retribution here has to potentially come back in a future event? What's that future for Abyssal looking like?
Look, I mean, they'll come back stronger, I think. We actually had a chat with a couple of players yesterday about it, and they've had the talks, they've sat down. It is just their second LAN together, and of course the new addition of Blood as well. So I believe their team is only going to get better. You're only going to get stronger. So yeah, I definitely think we'll see them in a few months' time playing in more LANs, and especially online. It'll be interesting to see how they put those results together. But yeah, look, Group A was fantastic, but we also had our other group in at number B.
We did. We did have Group B, which I was just about to throw to and take a look over that. Thank you, Harry, for doing my job for me. I really appreciate it, bud. You're a gem. But this was a group that we had a little bit more of a, I wouldn't say a lower expectation, but definitely we saw it as a little bit more split between FlyQuest GZ and that mix of DXA Arcade. That DXA Arcade game, however, was something that I think shocked a lot of people. A lot of people were counting DXA out in this one.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's hard to show any of your best Counter-Strike when you're coming up against the best in the region as the first map of the day. But, for DXA, they are definitely a roster that will be learning from this experience. Ignore the result there. It was Arcade that did take DXA down in that 2-0 fashion. But, for them, it's a similar story to Abyssal in that, this is one of their first LANs. Same with Mindfreak as a roster. And it's hard for teams to just get into the groove early on, particularly when you're facing some of the biggest opponents that probably you're going to face in your career. And look, for them, there's some good signs there. But now it's just about taking this experience, learning from it, and then hopefully watching the matches over the last 2 days and seeing just maybe where the ceiling is for them.
Of course, we did get to see Cash for the first time played in this region at this event between DXA Arcade. We sort of caught up on it a little bit, but do you think Cash is potentially a viable option in the future here for a lot of these teams, Has?
I mean, it'll have to be. Like, it's in the map pool now. Some teams will lean towards it. I know that a couple of teams were, using Overpass as some of their map picks and stronger suits, and, that one's gone. So I think that was actually DXA. Well, mostly that's why they went for that Cash pick, because, you have to adapt. You have to change there. So, yeah, look, I definitely think that Cash is going to be a viable option in the future for a lot of teams. And that could be a difference maker for a few as well, who is willing to, adapt and try and, add that to that map pool, add something that is going to take a lot of teams off guard.
Of course, we've had a bit of a chat about all the teams. We do have a little in memoriam for them because they are deceased as far as we're concerned for this tournament. So we'll pay our respects. We'll do it somberly. Twitch chat, behave. Please behave. This is a moment of respect. All right, guys?
I think if I'm being brutally honest, I think our form hasn't been too great as of recent. So I wouldn't say we're going in with expectations to win the event or anything.
We're going to win it.
We would want to win, for sure. So that's our goal.
But I think we would be disappointed if we didn't make playoffs.
Just to make it out of the group would be nice, so we have to don't go home instantly.
Ambitious to win, but realistic top 4.
For the team, really, we want to beat Rooster, and personally a bit as well. Lost a few qualifiers to them.
Everyone here is fucking bums.
The hope is playoffs, but like we know we have a hard bracket. I don't want to say we expect to lose to FlyQuest, but I mean, come on.
Our main goal is to beat Arcade if we go through lowers.
Try and contest and beat Arcade. I think they're a team that we should definitely be aiming to beat.
And then we want to push Ground Zero if we go past there, basically.
We don't expect to win against Ground Zero, but it's LAN, it's CS2, anything can happen. Like, we're not going to give up.
The goal would be to make playoffs at least, get out of the groups, and then it's kind of anyone's game.
Legitimately it. If we beat any team here, it's like pie on their face. Our pie on their face. Like, it's us. No one will remember if they beat us, but no one would let them forget if they lost to us.
I want to at least make the playoffs. I want to verse TDU, which means I have to make playoffs.
These boys last LAN, they made it to the top 4 with their previous member, so I kind of want to keep that going.
We're hoping to finish top 4. GZ are in our group and they're looking a bit rocky with Tux coming in, so hopefully we can pick them off and finish top 4.
I believe we have a high chance of beating Ground Zero.
Really take it to GZ, hopefully beat them.
I've seen that they haven't been practicing as much and their roster isn't their full 5.
3rd place could be doable. I think in a LAN environment we would beat Rooster and Abyssal. We already did it last LAN 2-0 to Abyssal, so...
Arcade are one of those teams that can really be that giant killer. They can really take a scalp off like the GZs, the Abyssals, hey, you know, even get a map off TDU if we're playing on our level. So I feel like a top 4 would be a really, really good showing.
Realistically, I think we should be placing top 4.
I'm gonna be completely honest and say like top 2.
As the reigning DFRAG Open champions with the ring here, we expect to win the event. You know, like we're here to win.
I don't think our expectations should change. Kind of setting the pace on how far I reckon we would continue to grow as a team.
If you start off slow, you might not get into the momentum. If you start off hot, it might be the opposite. You know what I mean?
You got to fear the cock. You have to fear the cock.
I think if we're all on our A game, and like with FlyQuest having like their weird 5th, like a weird situation there, like their chemistry might not be as good, I think we can win all in the end.
We're going to show some real creative Counter-Strike, I think. Differing from the old style while still including a lot of what made Rooster Rooster.
Expectations are like weird, I think, because I think from people looking outside, it's like they're going to be like last place in their group 7th, 8th, but I think for us, I believe we can like make playoffs, which might be a bit outlandish.
I think most people don't see us very high, but I think we're going for like top 4 or something. I think we can do it.
I think realistically we're looking to try and exit the group.
I think we can make top 4. I think it's like viable.
I think we'll be pretty disappointed if we don't, but as long as we're competitive, I mean, it's our first LAN. For a few other people, it's their first LAN.
Obviously, I'd love to win, so let's just beat FlyQuest and see how far we go, you know?
I believe we're capable of it. Whether we will show it is like another thing, but like, I think at the minimum, I expect to get like 5th, 6th, like 3rd place in the group, like playing the like decider game or whatever.
Typical, everyone wants to go for gold. That's the plan.
Expected top 2, going for number 1.
The competition will be a lot harder than last times, and the expectation is at least top 2, and then if anything win, like we should be winning as well.
Top 2, and then that, like if we make the finals and it comes down to FlyQuest, getting a win against them.
FlyQuest will obviously be a really good team. I think any other teams below that aren't really on the same echelon of Counter-Strike as us. Respectfully, I think Ground Zero is still pretty new. They could probably give us a little bit of a run for our money, but I think apart from FlyQuest, it should be pretty easy for us.
This is like a chance where we can actually show our game and fight for that first place.
But I'll see how we go.
Feelings, of course, to those that have recently departed this event as... Well, 6 teams down. Were there any sort of surprises from what we heard from these teams earlier this week before this tournament got underway that teams that potentially were a bit overconfident, you reckon? Maybe even underconfident?
Look, I think there's always a level of being humble with your expectations. But let's be realistic, man. Everyone's a competitor. Like, if you don't back yourself in this sort of environment, no one else will. So, yeah, of course, it might seem outlandish for some of these guys to sit there and go, yeah, we want to make playoffs. Yeah, we want to make top 3, top 4. We want to win. Good. Set that expectation for yourself. And, look, if you do end up disappointed, it means that you actually give a shit. So, you know, for as far as, the team's expectations are concerned, I'm not going to bash them for giving themselves a high rap, because at the end of the day, they've got to turn up and they've got to deliver on their own expectation.
They really do. I'm just trying to drama farm right now, see if we can end up on Reddit again, honestly. We'll take a look at the grand finals game. All right, fellas, let's give quick players to watch just very quickly. Who should we be expecting to sort of pop off and have a great game?
Well, I think for Ground Zero, definitely looking at Slimy. He was exceptional last night, and just basically this entire tournament. We saw Omi was definitely talking him up in a lot of those player interviews before coming on media day, so he's going to be a big factor for them. On the other side of things, I think that Gratisfaction is probably the one for FlyQuest. If he's on, because I believe the rest of the team should just be doing what they need to do, but if his AWP is ringing out, which it has done a few times so far on the server, I think that goes a long way, especially because I think that duel with APOC Dud is going to be incredibly important.
Yeah, look, I think you kind of got to look at that AWP matchup straight out the gate. Of course, Grat taking on APOC Dud. It just seemed as though they were, battling it out the last time that they took on each other. Obviously, Grat with the upper hand there, but these guys have only played each other on Friday. Yep. So maybe the wounds are still a little bit fresh, but there's plenty of time now for Ground Zero to go back to the drawing board and try and bolster what they can. To be honest, the player to watch for me for Ground Zero is actually going to be Tux, because I think he's a good barometer of how the rest of the team are going. Yep. But yeah, for FlyQuest, you can look at anyone on that roster and go, look, there's potential to take over the round. So for me, though, I'm actually going to probably keep an eye on Inns. He's been a little bit quiet this tournament so far, but I mean, there's only so many frags to go around when the rest of the team's just machining through it.
Yeah, it feels as if Inns isn't necessarily a sort of highlighted part of FlyQuest's roster so far at the moment. He just looks to just continue to play his role, do his job, get it done. Yeah, I'll knock off and have a bit of fun after, as soon as we get this out of the way. That sort of feels like what FlyQuest are doing, but we've heard our thoughts, gentlemen. Let's go hear what the players had to say about each other.
Women to come here and dominate, it's not going to be a problem.
I don't feel like there's any pressure, honestly. I'm here, I'm playing, it is what it is. It's nice to be back at home.
The expectation is just to have fun with it. We're here to win, obviously, we want to win, but we're not going to be hard on ourselves if things don't go our way. But we're going to put a good fight in.
I mean, I think there's always pressure when you come back to the Australian region and compete, but you just have to ignore that, really.
We're a bit of an underdog. I think it'd be cool if we won. We're all here to play the video game we love, so...
I think beating FlyQuest with very little crack and not having our fifth is probably not realistic. Happy with second, fucking ecstatic with first.
AK's traded out on APOC. Quick trades, one and done. Slimy. Nobody knows that has a credit card, and Hazza, he'll swing that thing around. He doesn't pay his taxes, he doesn't need to. TJP taken out by Hazza, so the trade's back and forth, and Hazza will win it out. Credit card, re-swing, and GZ, they'll get another round on the board. That's big red boys!
APOC has to find both of these fights. Manages the first though.
Drops CT. Alan thinks he's still short, but now he's going to try and jump up on the box. It's the worst angle to take, but APOC makes it work.
We're kind of holding the flag for the Oceania scene overseas.
Hopefully we just slam some ass and that's it.
Ground Zero is also one of the better teams, I'm pretty sure.
Obviously I'm going to talk a bit of shit and I'm looking forward to that matchup particularly.
I think we practiced against them the other night. I don't think we're too worried about them.
Great shots from Nedic. Posed there, Nedic. Oh, Nedic! Vexa, let him know. FlyQuest at match point here.
Play around the smoke too here in Vexite.
Oh.
Liaz to fall down. FlyQuest somehow pulling that one back out.
What's the point of winning the fucking pistol? You shit cunt! Come on, bud! Come on, bud!
Chills. Chills, gentlemen. Holy Jesus. Shout out Coops for that. That was actually insane. I've never been more hyped for a grand final in my life. But boys, we've been talking about how LAN is just an environment that gets loud. You get into people's heads by yelling and screaming. We haven't had a lot of it, especially out of our usual suspects like Omicella, like Vexite, like TJP, like Alistair. Do you think that this is an occasion where we start to see teams getting a little louder? Or is this going to be an occasion where it's pretty quiet?
Look, it's Championship Sunday, right? At the end of the day, if you don't have all your chips down, then what are you doing? So there's going to be a huge level of emotional investment, no doubt, from the Ground Zero guys. I guess FlyQuest, maybe if you start to see them crack a little bit, there'll be that emotional dejection that you might visibly see on a few of the players' faces. But yeah, aside from Vexite, I really haven't heard anything. I heard that Nedic was going to be the one to fire up as well. I think I may have heard him fire up once or twice. But look, if Nedic's firing up, man, I'd throw all expectations out the window.
Has many expectations, quite a fair, a loud one.
I hope loud. GZ have to be loud, I think, just to get into FlyQuest's head. And if you're not being fucking loud, it's grand final day. This is the time to get up and about. Some of them will say, and most of them say, it is a game. At the end of the day, you're having fun with it, but you want to win. So if they're not there putting their best foot forward, and I saw it last night when I was downstairs, they got in Thunder Down Hunter's head, and they were throwing it back. And TDU, the usual suspects, as you said, TJP, the boys, they got quiet. And FlyQuest, that could happen to them as well. They don't have many players that get up and about. They've got the stand-in, as does GZ, but we've seen it, we've heard it from the players as well. FlyQuest mental sometimes. It's not great. So if they're not switched on and GZ allowed, who knows what happens.
Speaking of switching on, we are going to switch over to the map veto and take a look exactly where we are taking this grand final, ladies and gentlemen. Dust 2. Of course, it has been a staple of GZ's map pool this entire event. We've got Anubis, which GZ have continued to sort of shock and surprise on, I think, consistently throughout this tournament. And Nuke to finish off essentially the exact same map pool that we had for TDU last night for GZ to get here. Boys, any surprises, any shocks?
Not really. The only difference between the last time they actually played in this particular video, they've got the exact same picks, Dust 2 and Anubis. The difference is the decider, if we go to it. It would have been it was Inferno last time. This time it's potentially Nuke. So as far as we're concerned, this is going to be these guys just running it back exactly as they ran out on Friday in that best of 3. So yeah, look to see what's changed in server in terms of strategy. But as far as the veto is concerned, it's pretty much exactly the same. The third map, we never got to see it. So you could argue either way, but this is going to be pretty much GZ with that comfort pick of Dust 2. And of course, FlyQuest just flexing that Anubis.
Has quick prediction.
I think FlyQuest, but I think we go 3. I think Dust 2 goes the way of GZ. They're going to be up and about this morning. I think. Well, I was going to say they're probably a bit tired. They've gone through a lot of 2-1 series in this tournament, but they're here to play. They're here to win. I think we're going all the way.
Jim, quick prediction.
Oh, look, man, it's hard to look past FlyQuest. If Dust 2 just falls apart, I think that's probably it's a quick affair. So yeah, first map's going to be really key. FlyQuest are very chill. They've had a half day yesterday. They've had plenty of time to go back and just reset. But look, that could mean a slow start, and I think that's going to be potentially Ground Zero's entry. They played a lot of Counter-Strike. They've had to get here. So hopefully they can stitch it all together and get themselves off to a great start.
Of course, we are going to give you over to our commentators for this grand final. 2-Tap Tony, it's Tuesdays. Gentlemen, enjoy this granny because it's going to be an absolute beauty.
Oh, absolutely it is, Flam. FlyQuest GZ for your grand final of HyperX and Intel Nationals. Landon, what a way to kick it off. Then, reliable Dust 2 here. Of course, we saw these two teams go toe-to-toe recently, Luthen. As the Alice Desk alluded to, a pretty mirrored veto from last time.
Pretty much the exact same veto. We saw the first two, the only two maps, Dust 2, Anubis, in that matchup before, and it was a 13-7, 13-6 victory for FlyQuest. So we'll have to see if Ground Zero can shut them out of this one. As we start to see Ground Zero pushing over towards the B side, it's going to be Vexite and Nedic to respond. Finding those 3 kills together, Slimy going to be able to strike back. So there is at least something to vie for here, but not too much more found. FlyQuest, nice, convincing pistol round win to kick those things up. And I want to also point out an interesting stat from that last matchup, of course. I think if there's one player you have to shut out on FlyQuest, of course, it's JKS.
Yeah.
He went 43 and 20 over those two maps. The last time these teams went head-to-head.
Yeah. Justin, a little bit of a savage in the server. That's why he's named JKS, baby. 43 kills in that one. That's insane statistics. Just coming back home and just having a field day, it feels. Of course, against reputable competition, right? You know, we've got no slouches. Thunder, GZ, even Mindfreak, that top four, of course. Very much some individual talent, a lot of really, really sharp players. So, yeah, JKS just making it look easy. FlyQuest with that pistol, just making it look easy. Just a great read there, having a great stack, knowing that GZ are probably want to get in their heads early, get a little bit of an aggressive maneuver going. But now they go back to the GZ of old. They cut the noise. They play it a little bit slower here, just kind of lurking around tunnel. But the rest of FlyQuest, they know what's happening here. Everybody here has surrounded the entire map, and Netic's just going to be free farming for the Ecos. It's Netic for 5 and FlyQuest for 2.
Nice swift ace to kick things off for FlyQuest in that second map. No pistol damage being dealt from the Ground Zero side. Crisp, clean. That's exactly what FlyQuest are wanting to see from this. Just be able to get it done and out of the way. Well, talking about that round, of course, but I think their mentality is applying that to hold map, if not the series. We will be able to see that buy coming up for Ground Zero, though, so maybe we'll get to see what they are able to achieve with these rifles. We see a bit of a vying for that long control, just playing that 3-player centric default as Ground Zero taking that free map control over towards mid. We'll try to extend it over towards short if possible and make an attempt to breach this A site. Rat hanging onto the corner, spotted out by Tux. Will fall away.
Yeah, we'll be able to get off that corner. He's able to drop down with the help of Inns as well. Some good utility, forces GZ back off a short. But they've got a ton of mid control, of course, with that one smoke to door. Vexite tried to block it there with his feet. Of course, that's a little bit of a sound cue. Gives GZ an inkling that maybe, of course, Vexite's on the lurk about mid. That's why they're spamming that door right now. GZ, no, still. Minute? Not a bit to play with. Still a ton of space to take. That CT smoke could be good. Still draws FlyQuest's attention. Everybody's off a B. They really want to take this fight mid. There's too short. FlyQuest trying to pincer on a GZ before they can even get that space. Hazard, Slimy, Hazard again taking them all out there. FlyQuest, a bold move, and it doesn't pay off. GZ let them walk into the trap, and now it's just JKS forced to save here. GZ able to get on to B for free.
I like the play, albeit a bit of a cocky one, just, again, that map control of mid being pretty much given up, so playing it almost in a retake-like situation, grouping back around it, waiting for those smokes to drop, looking to go for those picks. It's just unfortunate for the FlyQuest side that maybe they had the thinking right. Maybe they had the thinking right and the strategy, but the execution lacking. And that's exactly the type of entry Ground Zero have needed to, you know, be able to put themselves into this map nice and early. Again, this is one where, you know, we've been seeing time and time again, the analyst desk even pointing out, like, this is obviously an uphill battle for the GZ side. So seeing them establish themselves with their first buy round, yeah, it's exactly what we need from them.
Yeah, establishing themselves early as well. GZ folded a little bit last time. These two went toe-to-toe on Dust 2, and then, you know, they kind of felt it out a little bit. Felt like a little bit of a closer game than the scoreline would have led. Of course, 13-7, Dust 2 last time. But it still felt like GZ were fighting in rounds where, like, they're at a deficit. There were rounds where they definitely could have put across the line and made it a little bit closer. But, yeah, still uphill battle against FlyQuest, of course, the region's favorite, the international heroes for all of the Australian region. And, you know, as the analyst desk alluded to, GZ a little bit battle-scarred. They've had to go through the ringer. They had to play 3 mappers consecutively here to get to this point. And Grat's going to let them know with an early AWP pick.
Yeah, beautiful stuff. Blind and smoked out. Not going to matter. That shot will connect. Grat managing to get back to D, but his teammate JKS not quite so fortunate. We will also see FlyQuest just taking that map control towards the B tunnels. Slimy waiting on the other side will eventually be picked off. Inns meanwhile locking down towards short. We'll find that first one onto APOC Dud before dropping back. A bit of utility there to isolate Tux and force him off the fight as Hazard looks to try and approach from around the other side. See if they're able to work in tandem, but those smokes going to be blocking off some crucial sight lines to get it done. Still, though, should enable safe passage at least for this bomb to go down, so it will be 4-on-2, but it will be a retake that FlyQuest now have to mount.
Yeah, all up short here, FlyQuest. I like this. This is just like how you play your CT side, especially with a man advantage. You don't have to necessarily just go for the fights. Let GZ plant them if they'd like, and then you can take the fights in your own terms. 3 out long here for FlyQuest, and they'll completely run over Hazza. And now it's Tux, 1 versus 4. Bomb's planted for him, he's on top of it right now. Babysitting that one, keeping it warm. Shot doesn't land a short. Ins will win the fight out. FlyQuest up to 3. And well, for GZ, at least the bomb plant, so the money's secured. Cash there if they want to invest into this next one. But again, you have to credit FlyQuest. Very cool, calm, collected to start.
Very cool, calm, collected as we're kind of seeing, I suppose, how this roster has been able to work together. And also, you know, again, worth pointing out for anyone who hasn't been paying attention so much over the weekend so far, both of these teams are playing with stand-ins. Yep. Of course, Tux being the Ground Zero coach, standing in lieu of a dedicated AWPer. And FlyQuest having Gratisfaction as their AWPer for the weekend. So I guess we need some more scoped rifles in this region on these teams. Yeah. Well, there's one. We'll be able to find that over on Tux. Has it to trade back, but Netic still good for it. We'll be able to keep him on back foot. Manages the second, chipping away at those Ground Zero numbers, but the bomb site at least taken by GZ.
We're able to get in. Smoke covers the door. Spam comes through a little bit too early, maybe from Slimy. Could have made a fatal end, and the Vex site actually going to go out window a little bit too early. Shot still coming, Spam through. APOC takes out Vex site, so now it's just a Slimy going to be facing the window. And JKS, power numbers from FlyQuest, and again, not a whole lot of yelling just yet here from FlyQuest. I imagine as the rounds progress, we'll probably get them a little bit louder. Of course, Netic as well, sitting pretty highly on the scoreboard, and one of the highlight players here for FlyQuest, of course, the most recent addition just before JKS. And it's interesting looking at this FlyQuest roster. A lot of superstar talent, as the analyst desk said. Any one of these players could pop off, and you know, as we saw, JKS had a little bit of a pop-off against GZ last time these two went toe-to-toe. So, yeah, anyone from FlyQuest can do it. GZ going to be relegated to pistols. Has a Vex site looking to take a little bit too much of a fight. MP9, though, only going to be dropped. FlyQuest, smartly so, only dedicating that SMG to Vex site. But given over to GZ.
Yeah, I do love this controlled aggression that we're seeing. Like, Vex site getting into tunnels there, but you know, sometimes your opponents just get lucky with the dig. Yeah. It happens. FlyQuest won't be putting too much forward, not showing too much more skin as they play more reserved positions. Again, just back over towards long. We're just watching, waiting as JKS kind of checking on both of these angles, playing those players very heavy-centric mid. Ground Zero going to be able to get that long control for free, but not overly committing to it. Perhaps looking to wander elsewhere. 56 seconds left in the round as they try to make their approach. Again, finding that pick early on, but not really much info to go for it. Not really opening up too much of a pathway towards a site just yet. They're going to need to find another. There's a fight over towards mid. APOC Dart going to lead the charge over towards short as Hazza stays behind, hoping to strike gold again, but Gratisfaction takes him out.
Yeah, great shot from Grat. JKS now. He's going to be sitting chilling. Sight, though, shot from Slimy. Got to watch for here on GZ. APOC as well to find Grat. Deagle in the hands of APOC. He's going to be trying to play the tuck and duck game. But FlyQuest pretty experienced in that department and will be able to take his head off. 5-1 for FlyQuest. GZ, a valiant effort. You know, a lot of economic damage was dealt there.
Yeah, three kills with Deagle is not too shabby, all things considered. The only thing that would have just bolstered that would be a bomb plant. But, you know, not really too much of an issue. We'll see the buy, we'll see that AWP in APOC Dart's hands again. We'll be able to see plenty of utility all around. So, Ground Zero, they've got the equipment to make this round work. It's just whether or not they can find any cracks in that FlyQuest defense. And so far, it's proven to be pretty difficult. FlyQuest have been playing very disciplined. Again, aggression, sure, but very controlled aggression, not just seeing, you know, big pushes, or we're seeing them take space in meaningful ways. Ground Zero looking to do that over towards long as we see these three players grouped up. It's going to be JKS on the other side, not exactly the player you want to be pushing into, but hey, still, if they can get this trade off at least, opens up that possibility for that side hit.
Mapok. Oh, yeah, it's the unfortunate part there is like he can't jump up an Xbox because he leads himself open to Grat, but that molly is just going to do the job for him. Slimy, at least able to find that trade pick onto long here. Tux is going to be lurking out on towards B. So GC don't necessarily have to finish on A. They have just dropped the bomb. As Vexite found himself too. And Tux, oh, he's got a timing. Spots the player in CT. Natic's got no idea. Slimy's got the bomb. And B's free for the taking. Slimy going to take the most safe approach here. Doesn't have to go through mid doors and show any presence, especially with the fact that FlyQuest are going up through short. He's going to wrap all the way around through T-spawn. Plenty of utility as well for Tux and Slimy. Unfortunately for FlyQuest, only a smoke and a flash. So it's all about Slimy getting this bomb down and then GZ playing their post plant.
Do love that restraint from Tux as well, again spotting that player over towards CT, but not going for the fight, just looking to keep the side open. Unfortunately, that retake taking a bit too long.
Oh, Tux
finding that kill on to Netic. Gratisfaction with the trade. Slimy at 5 HP. It's going to make things way more difficult. Not much time left. He's going to tap the bomb for it, but unfortunately, Gratisfaction just going to be waiting patiently, and that is going to be their undoing. Grat not having to lift a finger to win that round in the end. And that is such an unfortunate way. Again, I loved the reasoning. I loved how that was kind of played out, but having those two players so far apart and that rotate taking so long, yeah, just not a lot more you can get out of that, unfortunately.
Yeah, maybe a little bit overthinking that from GC, but I love it. That Netic and Vexite now, like two Rottweilers barking here for FlyQuest and for GZ. Unfortunately on a drop, but of course they have to shake it off, right? This is still a very convertible half for them. They just need like 1 or 2 gun rounds, get a little bit of momentum going their way, because the one round they were able to pick up, they forced FlyQuest into a little bit of a trap. They played mid, and then they just cut noise. They completely just sat short and lower tunnel. And then FlyQuest tried to get aggressive on them, and they were able to pounce there. So GZ forced FlyQuest into maybe a few more traps, and the half could be a little bit more even. Great flash. Stops Netic from swinging for the moment. Turns with a HE. Does a little bit of chip damage. But I like this. Netic and Vexite actually going to be playing on this crossfire. And, well, damage dealt to Vexite, dinked up, but nobody's taken out just yet.
Yeah, so close, but no cigar there as Ground Zero pretty well forced to back away out of this position and not commit to this push. I mean, I think if they had been able to find the pick, it would have been pretty easy to hit that site, but now with the attention drawn all the way over, you've got the mid-rotate, you've still got those two players out on the B site. Yeah, a little bit uncomfortable. So, very well read from Ground Zero, deciding to change up their approach. But I think FlyQuest will notice that they're, in fact, not here in the tunnels as Vexite goes and pushes all the way in. And the information is going to be called out. It's down to Hazard to see if he can catch off this rotate here, having these timings. JKS playing from the other side will be able to find those two GZ players, confirming the hit. Now with 20 seconds left, there's no choice but to go for this one. And Hazard shot in the back with Vexite. That lurk being shut down makes it so much more difficult, but still, they persevere. Only going to be the last one, standing for a second as Gratisfaction, playing in and out of that smoke, will be able to finalize things. A 7-1 lead that FlyQuest have now cemented.
Yeah, FlyQuest just ready for that one. Looking at the time, knowing that there's nobody in tunnel, especially with that push. Just stock standard. FlyQuest knowing that they're going to be coming long, and everybody's already. Grat showing no fear as well. Currently 8-3 up there with Netic. The rest of them not having to do a whole lot. As we said, you know, JKS, the all-star fragger in that last series, 4-4. Just kind of hanging out there towards long. He's doing his job, though. You know, he got his 2 there at long. Made that fight really, really easy for FlyQuest. Gratisfaction going to be popping a shot there before that smoke blossoms at door. And Vexite as well into Hazard. So GZ, no luck in the pistol just yet for them. But of course, we do have a little bit of a look down through mid here. Omicello might catch a timing if he's lucky.
Man, it might just be because we're watching FlyQuest play OC teams for the first time in ages, but I gotta say, loving watching Gratisfaction play for FlyQuest team. He's slotting into his role so well over this weekend. Vexite as well playing his role to perfection and fighting those two. Again, Slimy left by himself. The star player for Ground Zero, but put in an impossible situation. Grat. Again, man of the hour, man of the weekend really for FlyQuest. You know, tagged in, jump in, hey, you want to play this event with us, and showing up in star form.
And for GZ right now, what is the call? Do we already think TAC? It's 8-1 to FlyQuest. Definitely thinking they might need it. Especially going to the next half, you want to reset a little bit. But starting slow, GZ. Expected, right? Historically a team that's been starting slow. But starts to get fired up. They've been a little bit here and there, though. I was going to say some games they've been looking really solid, and then they kind of teeter off, and then some games it's slow, and then it's them fighting their way back into it. And against a team like FlyQuest, you want to be fighting for it right now. Molly tossed over here to Tux. They're going to try and take up that short control again, trying to bait FlyQuest into an aggressive maneuver, but of course you can see Inns down towards CC. Happy to help JKS if the firepower comes towards short, but smoked off for the moment. GZ can't really force their way through it in backside. This is a nice little boost here. CC going to be covered. So GZ, hard to move any further forward. They've got that mid control, but how do you go from here?
Yeah, especially while so damaged too. Slimy have a combined health of 30. Tuck's also pretty low as well, so or a bit more low. But yeah, I mean, again, we're seeing this kind of stock standard slow round play from ground zero, although Tuck's in a good position to cut off this rotate here, leaving Netic isolated on the side by himself, although this utility going to make it way more difficult for the Lurk to do his job properly, especially now allowing Vexite into that site. APOC does then join, but oh no, they're not going to clear the corner. Inns will go down, but Vexite trading for 2. APOC Dart finding that one back. Netic still looking around the corner. Almost finding that one, but luckily Slimy managing to hit the shot will allow Ground Zero the grace to get that bomb down and set up the post plant.
Yeah, Netic was carved for so long. I was like, GZ have to clear this, and rightfully so. Slimy, their all-star, going to be finding Netic in that corner. Grat, JKS, I don't think they opt to go for this one. Because Grat does have that big green he wants to keep, and APOC will take it away from him. He knows that that's Grat that they've just killed, so that AWP could be in play, so they might want to go for the hunt here. Former fellas in Renegades now on the same side for FlyQuest, and just going to be Justin left here. GZ starting to try and play that mental warfare. That's 2 rounds. GZ still 8 though for FlyQuest, and we saw a blowout half like this yesterday against Thunder, and you know, GZ, some would say the comeback kings in situations like this.
I mean, again, we saw it in that third map on Nuke where it was a 10-2 half, and then as soon as they got on that CT side, we saw them just absolutely lock it in. And, you know, speaking of that series, of course, APOC Dud, just mentioned him. He's been one of those players on Ground Zero that's also fired up a lot this weekend. He had the best rating on the team in that series at 1.26, 55 big kills across those maps. So look, Ground Zero certainly have found a lot of their form this weekend. I think this FlyQuest matchup definitely doesn't. I'll put a pin in that for a second, actually, because Hazard in prime position for that push, but actually the contact not to come through. Timing maybe going to be unfortunate as he emerges. Still managing to find that one, though. Netic going to be caught out, and even Grat to fall too. Now that's the B-bomb side open up, and Ground Zero delivered this one. It's just a matter of getting that bomb back over there, dropped in the T-spawn, but look, plenty of time on the clock to do so. FlyQuest not looking particularly like they want to challenge here.
No, they're already calling for a save. I have to give respect there to Hazard. Just some great instinctive reaction. FlyQuest didn't have to go for that push. Brave call from Netic and Grat to try and shove through tunnel and get that pincer into mid, knowing that GZ have been taking a ton of mid control. But just a great read, great reaction here. FlyQuest, of course, no AWP to save either, so this is going to be GZ going up to 3, and as well, interesting going into this round, looking at the buys, it was actually going to be Slimy rocking with that AWP. As you said, APOC normally is taking up a little bit of a primary AWP role, especially with the fact that they don't have vision here in the server. And, well, for FlyQuest, just keeping those guns, already a good half for them, especially on this pick of dust too. Hazard looking for a little bit of a hunt. Damage dealt. Blind JKS. And Hazard will find Inns as well. Some money's taken away from 2 from FlyQuest. And now GZ is starting to fire up.
Yeah, you can see it. You can definitely see those sparks of brilliance coming through on this GZ side. You can see, you know, as if we're talking just of the region overall, how they've very much cemented themselves as that kind of, you know, easy third place pick if you're making that region tier list. I mean, and now dethroning who you consider
Second
number
now.
2 in Thunder Down Under with,
First when FlyQuest though, isn't here?
Yeah, exactly right. FlyQuest, of course, not really playing in this region too much. The only time these two teams have played each other in an official, on record on HLTV, is the matchup that they had the other day in this very tournament. So, I mean, not a lot of record there, but Ground Zero definitely showing. They've been watching those FlyQuest demos. They've been putting the practice in, and they've also been able to stumble into an open B site here. Util to go down a whole guard. Gravis Faction just going to wander right back in, trying to stop it, but unbeknownst to him, it's far too late.
Yeah, Loa's coming here. Going to be Vexite. Going to be Netic. And they're going to be shut down. Big man Tux to put him to bed. And GZ, well, we can say this is a good round, right? They got out B for free. They got that pick on a Grat. And Bomb will plant. Of course, FlyQuest a little bit of a rougher buy, so not really a whole lot to break down. Just GZ using that weaponry to their advantage. Imps, though, still peeking this window. He's trying to make something happen. Gets a little bit of a shot in, but nothing really is coming through. Slimy, nice and one tap there to his head, and APOC, a little bit of confidence. GZ 4.
Fellas, don't tell me you're going to lose anymore. No! This is not B!
Slimy's having a giggle too. He likes that.
I'm loving production's choice, just hard cut to seeing that look on JKS's face. Just unimpressed.
Hey, as Monitor said, the vein. The vein. We've got to look out for the vein.
Well, FlyQuest, I think, undeterred. I mean, okay, maybe losing 4 rounds there is a bit more than they would have liked to have given up ultimately. But yeah, Ground Zero, solid half, all things considered, especially with how uphill a battle this is on paper. And solid showing thus far. It's just whether or not they'll be able to continue to convert that on this CT side. And their pistols have been pretty sharp, I think, this weekend overall. I mean, we didn't see it go their way to kick off this map so far, but maybe they'll be able to redeem themselves with finding it. Okay, Tuck's actually just going to go straight down. JKS, at least, going out, makes it a 4-on-4.
Yeah, good trade there from Slimy. Nice shot from Grat, though. Ins will take out APOC, a little bit too aggressive there towards Lower. Slimy wasn't there to help him out. Slimy a bit late to the party. FlyQuest will get up through short here, and they have to deal with Shella. He's going to have to be sturdy, going to have to be solid as a rock, but he's going to be pushed aside by Vexite. FlyQuest will get onto A for free. They still have 2 players to tend with here from GZ.
Yeah, these GZ players could still definitely be a bit deadly, but no pathway back into this round, and Slimy being spotted out from the other side by Grad. Actually somehow turning that around into 2 kills, so okay, at least a bit more damage. But FlyQuest being able to pretty convincingly take that one away. Still a bit of shit-talking at least from the GZ side. Morale is certainly high. I think all things considered, they're still very happy with how they went in that first half. I mean, they pushed above expectations that they've probably set for themselves this weekend. I mean, again, we saw, a bit of what the teams were thinking in that video before, and GZ certainly living up to expectation.
Again, the memorial videos also playing through my head. That's quite funny. So shout out to our media team, content team there. Doing some great work. Vexite going to be getting himself some quick ecos, and Slimy at least one, but done and dusted in that one. Lowers rush from GZ, doesn't really pay off. FlyQuest 10 now here on Dust 2.
Double digits fairly early on to that. We'll see if Ground Zero, once they do manage to mount a buy that round, will be able to crack in and deliver at least a few more. Though at this point, I mean, can't ignore the elephant in the room. It does seem like that will be delaying the inevitable. FlyQuest still looking in overall pretty remarkable form. I say as Ins runs out into long and just dies.
Face first into 2 players for that molly. Yeah, it's Counter-Strike sometimes. That's what happens here. You're really dedicated to throwing that piece of utility, and that's all you can think about. And then all of a sudden you're swinging into 2 players, and you're like, oh, okay, I'm just dead. That's my bad, guys. FlyQuest down the first player in this one, so GZ. They can batten down the hatches now. 2 players at B. And, of course, one playing that CT rotate. for GZ. That is going to be Tux. Smoked off for the moment. Slimy there. But up through short, FlyQuest looking to take their maneuver. APOC, a great angle. He can take one, and he'll fall back.
Yeah, pretty nice pick from APOC Dud coming out. So, FlyQuest down a couple players, but undeterred as they look to venture onwards towards this A side. Or perhaps, maybe, venture elsewhere. We do see that bit of util being thrown out. It seems like bait as the true intent becomes clear amid to CT smoke. As Slimy Hazard going to be waiting on the other side of it, ready for the approach. Netic going to be clean with that one. Hazard to follow suit though. Netic trading back and forth, but still the man advantage being helped by Ground Zero. And still an unclear pathways. Hazard lurking around the other side. It's just down to Gratisfaction now.
Oh, the timing.
Almost getting away in the cover of that smoke, but Omicello won't let it happen.
Yeah, that was almost timing there for...
Use some flashes, champ.
Use some flashes, James. That was being said. I like GZ. I like when they're getting a little rowdy. Normally, GZ, very stoic team, very, not a whole lot of emotion across their dial, very calm. FlyQuest's kind of the same as well, so it's realistically who's like firing up in the shit talk department, playing that mental game. We saw GZ, as you heard from the losers interview there from Ali, very somber, and yeah, he just said that GZ got in their heads, and that's what we want to see from them, especially against the international champions, if you can call them that. That's a title, self-dubbed, of course.
International contenders.
Contenders,
at the very least.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, still FlyQuest, obviously that team that, you go into this and it is the expectation that it will be admittedly a bit of a blow. I mean, after all, FlyQuest are currently having a 7-0 map record across this weekend.
Untouched.
Completely untouched. Ground Zero, I mean, they've done extremely well to get themselves and carry their way through to this grand final, but not without a few of those scars, dropping maps here and there and taking it to 3 mappers. And nearly losing that one on Nuke in map number 3 of their Thunder Down Under series before clawing their way back. But undeterred, FlyQuest look to re-emerge themselves. They've only got that one killer AK. Oh, the body blocking is unfortunate there.
Oh, nades. Thought that was going to go through the door there, but it lands at the feet of that one. Some good damage though for GZ. FlyQuest, again, that hero AK for ins, the rest of them with pistols. Gonna go for a similar play that we saw from them, and APOC's already ready for it, firing off with that AWP from CT. Slimy now is getting his moment to shine, is able to pull out his M4 and whip it to him. AWP's gonna be saved too. And solid round, GZ.
Yeah, solid round. I mean, look, they're getting it done piece by piece. Obviously, anti-eco for the most part, other than that one hero rifle that I touched on, but hey, a round's a round. Getting that score up is pretty good, and we are starting to see it kind of mirroring the scoreline of the last matchup. Again, last time they played Dust 2 against each other. This weekend it was a 13-7 to FlyQuest. So I guess GZ trying to go for a personal best.
Yeah, trying to break records here. They've already broken records, right? We expected GZ that 3rd, 4th was probably where realistic expectations were for them, but second in an event like this, not too bad. Shot, oh my word, APOC with the bang! JKS getting taken out, and now FlyQuest, they're a little bit staggered to walk out on B because they never know when another shot comes out from APOC. Ins is up on short, off angle, that's read by Tux. Perfectly played here for GZ, they've got the mind games.
Man, I know APOC Dud is the off-AWPer here, and usually it's not his forte, but man, I'm loving seeing him on it this weekend. Getting something like that. We'll see if they can bolster a bit more than they need. Cheeky little boost to come out, see if they can spot something. Grat already on it though, spotting the head jumping up. So, unfortunate that it didn't quite work out. That Molotov forcing him out of position, but Grat undeterred will be able to find another one on it to Tux. Omicello, far removed from the site, only hoping for some exits here. If he can take that big green out of Grat's hands, especially with the money this low, that'd be nice, but it doesn't seem like he'll get the timing. Round number 11 for FlyQuest as they close in towards the end of what could be our first map finishing out here.
Yeah, that's a good round to pick up for FlyQuest, especially with how that one went to start off. Grat, opening pick, APOC with a wallbang headshot. And unfortunate there, just getting caught. Again, it's the argument that we made before. It's like you get so tunnel visioned into throwing that Molotov that you kind of forget you have to take a fight as well. So unfortunately for GZ, just caught with a nade out. Shot comes out from Grat, doesn't land this time. MP9 for Tux. And a stacked up B site this time for GZ, leaving mid completely open for FlyQuest.
Completely open indeed, but I mean, well, not completely, because I would say that sight line being blocked out, it really would just be down to a short player to take control, but not something that the Ground Zero side is looking
Oh my.
That's so unfortunate for APOC Dud. I would be so tilted off that.
Yeah.
In's rifle just can find the head like a magnetism there. Heat-seeking bullets. Omichella will at least strike back with that one on Netic and actually makes it a second, so somehow this engagement actually favors Ground Zero.
Yeah.
FlyQuest, though, continuing onwards up towards the A site, will force it into a retake.
Yeah, that was an aggressive maneuver for GZ, and again, that was read by FlyQuest. As soon as Inns gets that fortunate lucky shot in, Grat over the top. No mercy for GZ. Omichella, low HP. Do they expect him to come out long? He's now revealed his position. He's quite low, so the pistol's going to do the job. Hazza, at least, able to find one back on the JKS. Player hiding in short while Grat tries to stall for time. It's Vexite with a shot on a Hazza. Down to the 1 versus 1, and it's Vexite to win it out against the top all-star of GZ. FlyQuest for 12, and this is looking like a very similar scoreline to last time.
And not a word from the FlyQuest side either. Not even
Dead quiet.
Firing up or anything after that one. But you know what? That's okay. Cool, calm, collected FlyQuest here purely for business. And getting it done with a beautiful transaction from Vexite there. I mean, it did seem like Ground Zero, you know, had some good entries back into that round, but the post plant just too strong. Now an opener from APOC Dud. It just being pistols for Ground Zero, holding on to their last hopes. They're going to need some kind of miracle, or else we're heading to Anubis.
Yeah, definitely is looking like Anubis bound here. First aboard the plane, FlyQuest. GZ, unfortunately, we'll have to get the aisle seat or the window seat. It's a good argument to make. Are you a window or aisle seat kind of guy, Luke?
I'm a window kind of guy.
Yeah, you like the window, like a
I like
scenic
the
view. I like the aisle.
I like a good view.
I can kick my feet back, get the legs stretched.
Yeah.
Not when everybody's walking past, of course. I'm a little bit more polite about it.
Aisle more for international flights though, because
Yeah.
you need the leg room.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Inns having plenty of room to play with here, fighting that one on the slimy. Had to think for a second how to bring that one back in, but Ground Zero trying to find any way back in as best they can, only having these two players, Omichella, Tux, and that A site now on for the taking. Time going to be favouring FlyQuest now as Omichella needs something huge, finding that first one on the JKS, but not quite the crucial second. It's all down to Tux, the coach, in the player position. Can he get it done? No, not this time around. It's going to be FlyQuest taking this one out, 13-6, as we head to our analyst desk to figure out what exactly went down in that match.
Well, gentlemen, I think we had some interesting points that were brought up during that map, at least from our casters. Are we window or are we aisle seat, fellas?
Well, you know, as Little John once said, from the window to the wall.
But it's a plane.
Yeah, I know, but like
The windows are in the walls.
Well, I mean, you guys haven't been on very many planes.
Aren't all windows in walls?
Well, I'd make the argument that some windows aren't in walls.
That's true. Have you driven past on collection day?
No, well, actually, no, I haven't. So that's why.
So not all windows are in walls.
That's because he doesn't go outside.
That's true.
But gentlemen, let's
on
get on to
planes
something.
either.
No, yeah, I mean he doesn't get
He
outside.
walked.
a lot.
I think there was a
Walked
game we're supposed to discuss.
We're having an actual conversation here, bud. Let's talk about D2. All right, fellas, we saw, GZ, they had shown a little bit more previously than they did in this map. Is this just FlyQuest putting their foot on the throats and just trying to get this one done as soon as they can?
Oh, look, to be honest with you, I just felt as though there were far too many rounds there where Ground Zero just didn't have any answers to that mid to late round. They were just crushed in trying to take territory, and I think that's typical of FlyQuest. At the moment, they just look like they're mechanically better, and that's just enough to get them through. And I think unless Ground Zero really step things up on Anubis, this one could be a relatively short affair. That was their map pick after all, Ground Zero. We thought we were expecting, we were hoping that they'd have a little bit more fight on that map, and they just didn't deliver where they needed to.
What should we expect out of Anubis here?
Well, they will get the chance at least to pick into T-side. So that's going to work a bit more for them there. But, yeah, look, again, this is the problem they had when they played FlyQuest earlier in this tournament, where they just let them get out to too much of an early lead. And it was that 6-0, 7 sort of 1 start. And, you know, got it back to an 8-4 half. They got a couple of rounds after the pistol. They're keeping things relatively close. But, again, you just can't allow FlyQuest to get that jump on you. And they just created that gap. And then when it came down to those gun rounds, and you think back to like the 1v1 with, or 1v2 with Grat, he just played the time perfectly there. It is those little moments where FlyQuest are, unfortunately for Ground Zero, just better. And unless GZ can just lock in early in here on Anubis, we might be seeing, unfortunately, a pretty quick 2-0 here.
Is that the expectation for both of you with Anubis?
Look, at this point in time, yeah, Ground Zero, being slow starters, they can't afford to do that. And what they need to do is actually start stringing some rounds together as well. We saw it yesterday. Once they actually started to put rounds together in a row, that's when they actually challenged TDU. If they can't do that against FlyQuest, then there's, as has said, there's no window for them. They're just far too ahead. Even by the time they start putting rounds together, they're already well behind the 8 ball.
Speaking of windows, gentlemen, we're going to now turn this window into a wall following our previous discussion. We're going to have ourselves a bit of a quick break. We're going to be seeing you guys when Anubis gets here. But at the moment, FlyQuest, I mean, they're leading the series 1-0. GZ, do they have anything in the tank?
Delete one map forever. Okay, current pool, delete one map.
I think I would delete Ancient.
Ancient?
Ancient.
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 I hope Ancient is deleted forever.
Oh, I like all the maps.
Fuck Ancient. I think Ancient's just shit. Dog shit map.
That map is awful. Too green, don't like it.
I never used to play Ancient. I never wanted to play Ancient.
I hate it.
You can't really properly default on the map.
You asked the wrong person for this question.
It's just like, oh, let's do a mid default, and it's just team fight centric.
Dust 2.
Definitely Dust 2.
Fucking hate Dust 2.
Dust 2 gone, instantly.
Dust 2, not a fan. It's boring.
Terrible.
It's been the same for like 10 years.
Overpass. Anyone that fucking says it's good is just lying to themselves because they think they're smart. Dog shit, map. Sorry, I insulted half my team.
Map you'd most like to live in?
Live in.
Like in person.
That's a good one.
Well, I'm gonna go with Inferno, maybe.
Inferno.
Inferno.
Inferno. Yeah, Inferno's pretty nice. Inferno. Especially in like in T-apps, there's a little kitchen. Seems quite cute. Makes like scrambled eggs or something in those pans.
Most like to live in?
Fucking maps are there.
Maybe Overpass?
Overpass.
I don't mind Overpass.
Probably just Overpass.
Overpass is like Germany, and it's got like that hot dog shop.
A few beers.
Probably not Nuke, Cache.
I'd have to say Cache.
I'd like to live in Cache. Anyone pick Cache? Cache is nice. Just give me a room in the nuclear zone, away from all the people.
I think it's pretty peaceful, and I like Russia.
No, I don't want to pick Cache.
Probably not Mirage. Ancient in the jungle seems kind of cool.
I'd probably say Inferno.
I'd like to live in Inferno.
Italy. Of course.
Look at Italy. There's like some nice couches on there I'd like to sit on.
A casual lifestyle. Chickens running around, so you can always foster some chickens.
Map I'd like to live in? Maybe Mirage, bro. I could just take Palace. I could just live in Palace. It's pretty nice.
Anubis, maybe?
Anubis, of course.
Live in one of the pyramids or something out the back. Live in the temple. I don't know. Anything.
Anubis is beautiful. I mean, like, they have like the little beaches. I mean, the sand probably wouldn't be great, but...
Maybe Office. That's a pretty cheat code answer because that's just a place and it has computers and shit.
What does everyone else say?
Probably Inferno.
Gotta be Inferno, doesn't it?
Oh, Inferno would be sick. Yeah, Inferno 100%. What the fuck?
I think if I'm being brutally honest, I think our form hasn't been too great as of recent. So I wouldn't say we're going in with expectations to like win the event or anything.
We're gonna win it.
We would want to win, for sure. So that's our goal.
But I think we would be disappointed if we didn't make playoffs.
Just to make it out of the group would be nice, so we have to don't go home instantly.
Ambitious to win, but realistic top 4.
For the team, really, we want to beat Rooster, and personally a bit as well. Lost a few qualifiers to them.
Everyone here is fucking bums.
The hope is playoffs, but like we know we have a hard bracket. I don't want to say we expect to lose to FlyQuest, but I mean, come on.
Our main goal is to beat Arcade if we go through lowers.
Try and contest and beat Arcade. I think they're a team that we should definitely be aiming to beat.
And then we want to push Ground Zero if we go past there, basically.
We don't expect to win against Ground Zero, but it's LAN, it's CS2, anything can happen. Like, we're not going to give up.
The goal would be to make playoffs at least, get out of the groups, and then it's kind of anyone's game.
Legitimately, if we beat any team here, it's like pie on their face. Our pie on their face. Like, it's us. No one will remember if they beat us, but no one would let them forget if they lost to us.
I want to at least make the playoffs. I want to verse TDU, which means I have to make playoffs.
These boys last LAN, they made it to the top 4 with their previous member, so I kind of want to keep that going.
We're hoping to finish top 4. GZ are in our group and they're looking a bit rocky with Tux coming in, so hopefully we can pick them off and finish top 4.
I believe we have a high chance of beating Ground Zero.
Really take it to GZ, hopefully beat them.
I've seen that they haven't been practicing as much and their roster isn't their full 5.
3rd place could be doable. I think in a LAN environment we would beat Rooster and Abyssal. We already did it last LAN 2-0 to Abyssal, so...
Arcade are one of those teams that can really be that giant killer. They can really take a scalp off like the GZs, the Abyssals, hey, you know, even get a map off TDU if we're playing on our level. So I feel like a top 4 would be a really, really good showing.
Realistically, I think we should be placing top 4.
I'm gonna be completely honest and say like top 2.
As the reigning DFRAG Open champions with the ring here, we expect to win the event. You know, like we're here to win.
I don't think our expectations should change. Kind of setting the pace on how far I reckon we would continue to grow as a team.
If you start off slow, you might not get into the momentum. If you start off hot, might be the opposite. You know what I mean?
Oh, you got to fear the cock. You have to fear the cock. I think if we're all on our A game, and like with FlyQuest having like their weird 5th, like a weird situation there, like their chemistry might not be as good, I think we can win it all in the end. We're going to show some real creative Counter-Strike, I think. Differing from the old style while still including a lot of what made Rooster Rooster.
Expectations are like weird, I think, because I think from people looking outside, it's like they're gonna be like last place in their group, 7th, 8th. But I think for us, I believe we can like make playoffs, which might be a bit outlandish.
I think most people don't see us very high, but I think we're going for like top 4 or something. I think we can do it.
I think realistically we're looking to try and exit the group.
I think we can make top 4. I think it's like viable.
I think we'll be pretty disappointed if we don't, but as long as we're competitive, I mean, it's our first LAN. For a few other people, it's their first LAN.
Obviously, I'd love to win, so let's just beat FlyQuest and see how far we go, you know?
I believe we're capable of it. Whether we will show it is like another thing, but like I think at the minimum I expect to get like 5, 6, like third place in the group, like playing the like decider game or whatever.
Typical, everyone wants to go for gold. That's the plan.
Expected top 2, going for number 1.
The competition will be a lot harder than last times, and yeah, the expectation is at least top 2, and then if anything win, like we should be winning as well.
Top 2, and then that, like, if we make the finals and it comes down to FlyQuest, yeah, getting a win against them.
FlyQuest will obviously be a really good team. I think any other teams below that aren't really on the same echelon of Counter-Strike as us. Respectfully, I think Ground Zero is still pretty new. They could probably give us a little bit of a run for our money, but I think apart from FlyQuest, it should be pretty easy for us.
This is like a chance where we can actually show our game and yeah, fight for that first place.
But I'll see how we go.
Women to come here and dominate, it's not going to be a problem.
I don't feel like there's any pressure, honestly. I'm here, I'm playing, it is what it is. It's nice to be back at home.
The expectation is just to have fun with it. You know, we're here to win, obviously, like we want to win, but we're not going to be hard on ourselves if things don't go our way. But we're going to put a good fight in.
I mean, I think there's always pressure when you come back to the Australian region and compete, but you just have to ignore that, really.
We're a bit of an underdog. I think it'd be cool if we won. We're all here to play the video game we love, so...
I think beating FlyQuest with very little crack and not having our 5th is probably not realistic. Happy with 2nd, fucking ecstatic with 1st.
AK's traded out on APOC. Quick trades, one and done. Slimy. Nobody knows that has a credit card, and Hazza, he'll swing that thing around. He doesn't pay his taxes, he doesn't need to. TJP taken out by Hazza, so the trade's back and forth, and Hazza will win it out. Credit card, re-swing, and GZ, they'll get another round on the board. That's big red boys!
APOC has to find both of these fights. Manages the first though.
Drops CT. Ali thinks he's still short, but now he's going to try and jump up on the box. It's the worst angle to take, but APOC makes it work. Come on, Ellie! I'm in your
We're kind of like holding the flag for the Oceania scene overseas.
Hopefully we just slam some ass and that's it.
Ground Zero is also one of the better teams, I'm pretty sure.
Obviously I'm going to talk a bit of shit and I'm looking forward to that matchup particularly.
I think we practiced against them the other night. I don't think we're too worried about them.
Great shots from Nedic. Posed there, Nedic. Oh, Nedic! Vexa, let him know. FlyQuest at match point here.
Play around the smoke too here in Vexite.
Oh.
Liaz to fall down. FlyQuest somehow pulling that one back out.
What's the point of winning the fucking pistol? You shit cunt! Come on! Come on, buddy! Come on, buddy! The game's over!
Welcome back, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. We are here, map number 2, coming up here at the HyperX Intel Nationals 2026. Of course, I'm joined by the best and the brightest.
That's one way to stroke our ego.
Still early in the morning, mate.
It is early in the morning, and, you know, you two are just so beautiful, I get flustered. You know what I mean? But fellas, Anubis coming up. Let's get back onto track here because someone's derailing it somehow. Jim, keys for Anubis. What did GZ have to do to bring themselves back into this series?
Oh, look, man, they've got to start putting rounds together, like back to back. That's the thing. Yeah, we've strung you out on the wire, haven't we? But as far as like Anubis is concerned, I guess the history for them on this map isn't necessarily so exciting. They've run this before. They've run this against FlyQuest before. It didn't seem as though they had like many answers. Very similar situation to Dust 2. So they've really got to turn that around, and I hope they've worked on this map a little bit. Dust 2 was their comfort pick. They didn't necessarily look very comfortable at all on Dust 2, and you know, I'm going to keep just talking for a little bit while Flam recovers from his
moment.
Yeah.
Thanks, mate.
I reckon if I just let him sit in that discomfort
You can sit
for
in
a
that
while.
one there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we go to this one.
I'm
here.
fully comfortable.
Is you good?
With it,
You good,
actually,
mate? Yeah.
Fully comfortable, mate.
Let him marinate. But no, GZ, honestly, they need more in the tank here. They just didn't have that range of execution. Very much bullied around the map too. I think they were trying to contest mid, and that wasn't very successful for them. So they need to try and factor out being pushed on, particularly on that T side. They probably will pick into the T side first, as you noted before. But like, if they get bullied around and don't get to set that default and take control of water, they're not going to have a good time at all.
Well, speaking of having a good time, scan that QR code that we've got on the screen, ladies and gentlemen. 10% off on your HyperX products. Harry, let's get to you. Mate, predictions for this map. What have we got?
I think ground zero again. It will come down to that T side early. If they can find those early rounds there, get some momentum on their side, go into the half with a lead, they absolutely can do it. It has. Look, they've been down in most of these series. They've come back in 2-1. They've lost the opening map, rolled it back through there. That's what they have to do now. That's what they have to be in the grand final. FlyQuest on the other side. Well, this is it. This could be the grand final win right here.
Really good. Luth, Tone, have yourself some fun here, boys.
Very well could be the end for Ground Zero, a Cinderella story, finding their way all into the grand final, but FlyQuest is the big bad to shut them down. Well, unless they have their way, and Ground Zero seeing an interesting pistol round running ring around the rosies, just all the way through the CT spawn.
God.
This is unbelievable stuff, but JKS on the other side will be able to find it too. Gratisfaction falling up in the third. Fourth, leaving Omichella in at the 1-on-4. Will at least trade back, so there is at least something to go for. Might even be able to get the timing to get away here, who knows?
Well, he's still got the bomb as well. This is a wacky thing to call here from APOC, so yeah, GZ, I guess if it, get the head of FlyQuest, not necessarily in the kills department, but get in their heads there. You can be anywhere on the map. Omichella trying to go for the bomb plant, but there's a guy Dark that he has to clear out. He gets the backside player at least, so Nenic taken out. Hey, Gratisfaction's starting to get in. All right.
He's feeling it. He's feeling it.
I like that. Yeah, that was a weird round. I don't mind it out of APOC. It's like, that's the easiest way to put it. It's a weird round. They got into spawn, and then there was the luxury that they could go to either bomb site if they chose to. If they went to B, it might not have been too bad there for the wrap, but they went to A instead, and that's where FlyQuest were already posted.
I can't wait to run that strat in the Premier game.
Oh, yeah.
That's
around the world.
That's really funny. I respect it. FlyQuest will be able to readjust and find it, but at least, seeing a bit more innovation from the Ground Zero side, trying whatever they can, seeing what sticks. Will, of course, just see them back on pistols, though Omichella having the single dig, of course, having a bit of extra cash after getting it the triple. So at least, nice explosive opening for him. I mean, we did see it was mostly slimy in map number 1. Okay, Omichella looking to show what he can do in map number 2 with that kill on JKS. Vexite at least finding one back, but the bomb to go down. Nice little economic stimulus for Ground Zero.
And another kill. Oh my god, APOC. Glock to Vexite's dome. Tux with that M4 that's been retrieved. Damage is dealt from Slimy. Tagged up low. MP9 there for Ins. And APOC, he's looking to wrap around here. For FlyQuest. Onto the side. What is going on? There we go. We're back. Diffusing here. FlyQuest sticking the bomb. APOC, he can't see the shot. He can't get in. The guy Fountain, the guy on Plateau is going to take his head off. Netic finds that one. That's Obi. That's Obi in the back there. I like that.
I love that they're just having fun with it, you know. I mean, obviously, I think with a matchup like this, best you can do is just kind of take rounds like this on the chin and just have fun, give it your all. I'm loving that attitude from Ground Zero for sure throughout the first map and clearly carrying into the second. But we'll see, other than positive mental attitude, of what Ground Zero can bring in as they get themselves into their first play round for Anubis. It'll be 5 AKs barreling their way towards that mid position, looking to fight for control. We're going to see that boost coming up through the half wall there, as APOC Dud might be able to catch Gratisfaction off guard. Does manage it, no trade in sight, as his teammate in JKS was playing in that back connector position, not quite anticipating such an early aggression. That's exactly the type of opening that Ground Zero needs.
It's a good smoke HE combo there from player there, of course, Vex Sights. And, well, hand in hand with Netic. Does some good damage to Tux. GZ. Though that first opening pick, still a little bit of unhealthy HP bars across GZ's board, so, you know, maybe slow it down a little bit. Flash out onto B. Few flashes right over the top of smoke as well to Temple. The smoke towards that CT line. They'll walk up through Dark. Tux does take that first initial fight. Netic gonna take it out. Now they're trying to exploit the site, but Vexite wrapping around the pillar for 2 there with a great flash from Ins. Hazard at least able to trade it back with GZ. They've got that bomb plant now going down here, and now they have to avoid taking any more gunfights. They have to get out of this site.
JKS Ins, the 3-letter namers of FlyQuest, looking to try and make their way back in, or maybe just try and get some exits here. I mean, you know, a pretty well-established position from the GZ side, all things considered, although JKS will try and go for it. Hazard will be able to end that dream right there, though, turning back around, reaching on the other side after fighting that first one, delivered into the second. APOC Dud, he's got his eye out for them. He's absolutely firing up. Again, loving this. They're just having fun with it.
Yeah, it's I guess, like, it's still meant to warfare, because they're, like, still shouting at FlyQuest, and, you know, nobody likes getting shouted at, Luth, and good call attack, alright, attack, after first round picked up here for
Let
GZ.
him stew on it.
Let him stew on it, I believe as well, maybe, yeah, no, APOC also has to re-plug his headphones in, so, using the attack as well to call some strategy, let him stew on it. There's a combination of things going on for this tack. And Slimy as well, he's offering a lot of input. I really like this, like, back and forth that we saw yesterday from Slimy and APOC, you know, just tossing ideas back and forth. Helps your IGL out a ton here if you've got something that you want to go for, or you've got an idea to put in play here. Really enables APOC to kind of go, okay, yeah, we can do that, or, you know, he can politely turn that down if it doesn't work for the round that's about to be played out.
Yeah, well, I mean, it certainly has been a nice start for GZ. I mean, especially, I think, with kind of some of the strategy that we've been seeing them thinking on their feet, and definitely pushing FlyQuest. I mean, this is certainly, you know, a bit more of a return to form. I mean, we did see, again, these sparks of brilliance over on Dust 2. We saw some very cohesive rounds that they were able to string together. Usually, in the case of FlyQuest, it was the control discipline and firepower that pushed them over the line. So it is interesting to see what Ground Zero has been able to bring to the table, not only in this matchup, but across the weekend, really showing how far this team has grown, especially after the roster changes a while ago. We're going to be seeing third engagement ultimately favouring the Ground Zero side, finding 3 of those FlyQuest players trying to go for that control over towards the waters. Not quite going to work out for them.
Oh, JKS isn't even able to get back through camera to mid. Has to go the Heaven way. And for GZ, I like that attention to detail, knowing that FlyQuest is on a little bit of a dodgier buy, you know, maybe only like 1 or 2 MP9s in the mix. Very minimal utility behind it as well, so they're probably going to go for a water push or down through mid. And GZ, they expect that one. Some great picks to go to their board at JKS. And, of course, Ins, the 3-letter names, as he said, probably going to have to save here. Not really much they can do. Slimy Of course, being cautious. Still a player that could be coming from Carpet. Actually, is going to walk down the stairs. And Slimy's going to find him, though. Unfortunate. Nothing there for Inns. And for GZ, it's going to be a second on the board. Nothing really to break away from that one. Just a little bit more weaponry behind GZ. But for FlyQuest now, probably a very important round to come up here because they'll be back on... Well, actually, no, they're dead broke. JKS has $0 in that MP9. So, yeah. This is situation. Yeah, this is a rough situation to be in now for FlyQuest.
Yeah, that's right, Tony. I mean, FlyQuest on the back foot, not exactly what we were kind of expecting for the opener here on Anubis, but look, it's interesting. It's some fun Counter-Strike. I'll give it that. Certainly delivering for this grand final. It'd be interesting to see as this map progresses who exactly is going to fire up to and where that kind of is going to go, because so far it feels like there's not really been too many individual top hitters. But I will say, in map number 1, it really was the Netic show. He dropped 113 ADR against Ground Zero over on Dust 2. Slimy was also, quite the powerhouse for GZ, holding things in their favour with 84 ADR, a bit less, but still dropping 17 kills. So these have really been the players to watch, and I think have been quite interesting players over the weekend. Inns, beautiful little shot, Gratisfaction to follow up, as well as these pistols are doing quite a lot of damage. Slimy will follow through with the spray down, making it a triple. JKS with that lone primary weapon, that SMG, going to be making his way back around as Ground Zero get the hell out of there, looking to maybe try and take that A site.
Yeah, it's actually not bad, I guess, for GZ. APOC, Omi going down. They've got a ton of cash in the back pockets there, so plenty of money to reinvest. JKS just maybe looking to make some more money here, but maybe just has to save that MP9. GZ, it looked a little bit scary there. Omnichella having to face like 3 people that are just like swinging him and double tapping him with USPs.
Yep.
A little bit of a deadly one there, especially if you get dinked off a rip, especially taking that fight. And that's why Omnichella went down. FlyQuest, they will have to just lick their wounds for this one. GZ going up to 3 earlier on, and you look at this one, you're like, maybe GZ need to play Anubis a little bit more.
Maybe. I mean, they seem pretty strong on it. I mean, they have been playing it, a decent amount, I would say, but not compared to, Nuke is one of their high pick rate maps.
Not compared to FlyQuest.
Yeah, not compared to FlyQuest.
Or Thunder,
such a exactly. Both of those teams having such a high pick rate of Anubis, really working into their pool. GZ, maybe, I don't know, maybe they need to pick it up a little bit more, because so far, at least what we're seeing right now, they seem to be very well versed on it. FlyQuest, of course, economic back foot for this round does kind of give it to Ground Zero a little bit more in their favour. But JKS looking to rack up some cash with that MP9. Will get that kill reward for Tux, but not before being taken out of the round by Slimy. I'm loving this. I'm loving that they just stay vocal, keep trying to get in their heads.
Yeah, Omi's a little bit more louder than he was yesterday. Even like in that very tense game against Thunder, Omi was a little bit quieter. So, he's really starting to feel comfortable. GZ starting to warm up as the day progresses here. Of course, we started only an hour ago, so both these teams really gonna have to test the mettle. It's not the long sprint that GZ had to do yesterday, right? Playing so many games, whereas FlyQuest, as the Death said, a little bit of a half day for them. Very easy one. They, got plenty of time to sit back and relax, work out their mistakes. If it was very minimal, of course, from FlyQuest. Single digits, as we said.
Yep.
Pretty dominant form from them going into this grand final. Next site though, first pick on to Tux there towards Dark. APOC not there for the trade just yet. And going to be smoked off.
Smoked out, isolated away, Ground Zero now down 2 players as Vexite finds that one onto Omnichella from Darkroom there. And yeah, this buy round certainly would be a test for FlyQuest here as far as, finding those 3 in a row from Ground Zero, and as a great boost. Getting momentum up.
Oh!
Some massive kills coming out from Netic as APOC does respond with those 2, but is quickly shut down. Now again, Slimy left by himself. Might be able to recover the bomb, although a bit difficult on this sightline. Does spot Netic, It's a bit of a test of patience. Slimy not quite going to go for this one instead. Looking around, trying to see if he can catch a player off on the rotate. Lurking up behind him. In a very uncomfortable position. Eventually does recover it. 30 seconds left. Will try and make it somewhere if he can Or maybe just saving this
Save,
AWP, being the smart choice and going for whatever exits he's able to get. Try and find some of those roaming players, but GZ firmly giving up this round, and I think, again, a few things where they're able to find some of those kills, but ultimately just the trades being so strong for FlyQuest though.
Yeah, that's what I believe a lot of these teams were saying, right? That FlyQuest just really, really efficient in their trades. They play a little bit of more European-centric Counter-Strike, very trade-heavy, very flashes for each other. GZ slowly starting to kind of like work that into their playbook. We've seen a lot of flash set plays from them, a lot of util-heavy executes as well. So, yeah, both these teams were really testing that kind of European level of Counter-Strike that they've gathered over the course of their times as teams. But for GZ, this is going to be AWP APOC. No AWP though for FlyQuest. It's a little bit harder to AWP that CT side, right? You go to mid, it gets immediately smoked off, and you're like, alright, what do I do? Maybe go AWP like B?
Yeah, I mean, it does make it way more difficult. It's not exactly like Dust 2 where you can just smoke the mid doors and just get that control up the map for free. There's a lot more going on it. APOC dud, though, finding that opener onto Netic at least might be a possibility towards this B side, although that said, Vexite also looking around the corner. We'll find that one onto Omichel, shutting down the push. Vexite and Gratisfaction coming in with kills. Does leave it just down to APOC and Slimy, see what they can get done. Again, still towards B here, but with that mid player shut down, does make things all the more difficult. And the positioning not really giving much for Ground Zero to get out. They'll still try. Slimy making his way around the corner. Gratisfaction there, spotting him out.
This time he's everything. Oh, gun spotted. Grat's going to be able to walk up, take out APOC. Slimy knows he's playing dark, but he has to tend with the two players that are coming backside. FlyQuest are starting to fire up. They're getting amongst it. 4 rounds. Still 3 though, GZ. This is a little bit of a closer affair, just like we saw on Dust. Anubis still that back and forth. We saw a little bit of that last time these two teams went toe-to-toe, and then FlyQuest kind of just like worked them out and steamroll them from there. Of course, 13-6 last time this team went toe-to-toe. And, well, for GZ, dead broke into this one. Maybe just a fast play out towards A, steal away a gun, potentially get a bomb plant. That's realistically the silver lining if they can get it done.
JS going to find that first engagement on Tarks. Makes it a second on Michela as well. He's just absolutely farming here. Stat padding a little, but, you know, I think he had a bit of a quiet one over on Dust 2, so trying to make up for it as best as he can. Finding 4, looking for the ace now. Gratisfaction going to steal it away, but you know what, at the end of the day, it's the numbers along the top that matter, and it's number 5 for FlyQuest as they cement that round very, very convincingly. But again, only against pistols. What can you do on the Ground Zero side? It's going to be this buy round to see if they can keep this momentum. They kind of started to build up, bring it back a bit before we see getting into the later stages of this first half, whether or not FlyQuest will just run away with this.
Yeah, I'm starting to like how FlyQuest are playing, like, as we said, very European level of Counter-Strike, where they're kind of playing together, but they're also playing up close. Like, off angles you don't expect to have to swing and be ready for. APOC, though, he's ready for that peak mid. Gratisfaction gets that trade back on a Slimy, so 1-for-1 here. Engagements in mid. High flash comes out. Vexite's found Tux down towards water. Tux getting a little bit red out here by FlyQuest. His position has been pretty stable this whole T side, right? He's just going water for that dark control. And FlyQuest know that they can maybe punish that with a little bit of more faster execution. Gratisfaction catching Omichella. And well, for GZ, the pieces are slowly starting to unravel. FlyQuest now just, of course, going to be putting their members back towards A. Grat just going to be anchoring down the other side. And for GZ, very minimal to execute on.
Yeah, what exactly are you able to do, especially anchored in this position over towards A, potentially going to be getting shut out by Gratisfaction, pushing up and taking it on the other side. These CTs just ready to swarm here. Hazard at least finding the trade. Actually, a little bit more than that. Okay, JK has to fall down. Maybe it does make this a bit more interesting still. Vexite to face on the other side. We'll go for that swing and finally shut it down. Hazard showing a bit of potential, but ultimately not quite able to sway the round back into GZ's favour. And yeah, this is just where FlyQuest, again, finding so many of those opening picks and then really just playing control after the fact, shutting down any opportunity by way of utility to pretty much ice Ground Zero out of the round. Cold, calculated Counter-Strike, and gotta say as well, Ground Zero starting to get a little quiet now. And I think it's that quiet discontent that FlyQuest are feeling a lot more comfortable in.
Yeah, no mind games going on here from GZ. It's interesting to see them kind of simmer down a little bit. You know, Omichella was getting a little lippy. He's having not a bad game, right? 5 and 8 currently. Omichella, of course, as well, one of those players, highlight from GZ. Slimy, your expected all-star. We'll grab that M4 here for GZ. So, gun retrieved here. FlyQuest, though, there's a few players in water that GZ might have to contend with in a little bit. Grat over towards middle. FlyQuest really playing for this mid control. And GZ, though, they go quiet after retrieving that first gun.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think just kind of, you know, pressing around the map, looking for opportunity, not really too certain of where exactly to play it off of. We do see that bit of mid-utility to maybe try and bait out a rotate, maybe try and make it look like it will be a split A push. Undeterred, though, the FlyQuest boys still sitting on this B site and are ready and waiting. 30 seconds left as Ground Zero gonna just try and swarm out and overwhelm these B defenders in numbers, but taking so long, Gratisfaction has also been called over, so we know how deadly he can be with that AWP. There it is. APOC starting to fall down as plenty more players around the corner as the smoke drops. Hazard will try and find that opener with the Deagle and run through the flames, but Vexite gonna be the one to shut him out of it with a nice 3-piece. Shutting out Ground Zero from any opportunity there and finding round number 7. Again, not the most extreme scoreline we've seen so far, even this series. There was a 7-1 lead at one point before, now it's 7-3. 7-1 lead in Dust 2 before, now it's 7-3 here on Anubis, I should clarify. But, yeah, it feels like the momentum that maybe Ground Zero had been able to build a lot earlier in the half has just been completely shattered.
A little bit of a paper cut here at the moment for GZ. Nothing really you can do to fix it. Maybe put a band-aid on it, and band-aid solution is Hazard. Double there onto Inns and Vexite. So the great read here for GZ is we got to shut down that water control. Hazard did that in the previous round, so GZ slowly starting to work it out. FlyQuest down 2 members early. Grat's opting to AWP this round, but APOC also finding Netic on the outskirts of the map there over towards B main. That forces JKS to rotate, so now Grat's on his own. And normally we see the FlyQuest pair duo up together. Gratisfaction's going for his own. He takes out Hazard. Site's taken though by GZ.
Yeah, Hazard dropping some big numbers there to kick things off. Eventually dropping back down. It'll be on Slimy Omichella to finish up with those kills onto Grat and JKS. And that is a much better, cleaner round from Ground Zero, made all that more impactful by the opening opportunities provided by Hazard, who I think is also a player we haven't, you know, we've been talking about Slimy a lot, we've been talking about APOC, but I feel like we should give Hazard a moment to really...
Absolutely.
Because in so many of these engagements, it just feels like he's been very good for a 1 or 2 piece, where he's been very good as an entry, where he's just been able to play that kind of aggressive pressure and build it up, and you know he's fine dying for his team so long as it kind of works in their favor and they can swing it back around. Absolutely, you know, crucial piece of Ground Zero to work for them. But Puck's not going to be crucial to this round, taken out pretty early on by Grat.
Grat, early shot, APOC though on a Vex site. Grat though immediately chimes back in. Some good trades and another shot from Grat. Hazard though, always reliable here for at least one, as you said, GZ. Now they only have 2 members here to try and get into the site. Slimy's trying to take the fight and ends JKS. They'll collect it. Another 8-4 scoreline here for FlyQuest. And again, going back to your point, giving Hazard his flowers, right? He he's been consistent, you know, not one that like normally dips in form all too much, just slowly. Some would say a quiet achiever throughout his years. Has always been that guy that's, you know, putting up numbers, but not necessarily getting like the big opportunities. And you're looking at this one as well. This is I guess a grudge match as well for Hazard. You know, he's going against Grat, his former teammate that, you know, they tried to qualify back for the major in 2023, the Blast Paris major. And, you know, that's a fun storyline as well to explore a little bit. Hazard always kind of around that top 3 team, you know, always knocking at the door, but he's never on that FlyQuest. He's never on that Thunder roster.
Yeah, and again, he was one of those crucial players too in that consolidation final yesterday, dropping 56 kills over those 3 maps and keeping Ground Zero alive against Thunder Down Under. So, yeah, got to give him his flowers.
Yeah,
absolutely. But FlyQuest still the stars of the show at this point right now, leading an 8-4 half, mirroring that first map. Gratisfaction also going to be finding this opener in the pistol round to lead them on towards this B site. Much more normal strategy, I would say, compared to Ground Zero's pistol. Not quite going for the crazy rotates or anything, just a clean opener and a bomb plant to kick things off.
Yeah, nothing crazy from FlyQuest, just keeping it to a T, to standard. Hazard, speaking of his name, Gratisfaction Vex site though, Netic trade. And he's got such a good spot. Netic, this is so hard to clear. Slimy able to find it at least, but there's a wraparound from JKS. I don't think Slimy's going to expect Smokes B main. JKS, he's just got such a timing. P250 to the back of the dome of Slimy. And 9 rounds FlyQuest.
9 rounds FlyQuest. And starting to get a little vocal at that. Do love to see it. I mean, we love to see this LAN environment you know, being made use of, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, it's not every day that you've got all of these players in the same room playing some high-level Counter-Strike against
each other. It's normally online. FlyQuest is normally overseas.
Yep.
So, yeah, good experience. As, you know, I was speaking to Phoebe and some of the Mindfreak guys yesterday, it was like, yeah, this is, like, we get a chance to play against FlyQuest, even APOC as well. Scrim advantage, you know, you get to read a little bit of how FlyQuest play the game. Slimy, great trade and damage dealt across the line. It's FlyQuest putting up 10. Pretty easy eco round for them, only losing JKS in the process.
The body shooting coming out too. Yeah, FlyQuest just going for the kill shot now.
Yeah.
This has just been, again, building up that early momentum by finding that pistol and really shutting their opponents out economically, strategically in every round where possible. You know, raw firepower coming out, sure, but again, you know, same thing we've been saying a lot, just this tactical restraint and really this more European-style CS where they're playing, you know, much more like, much more, I suppose, like pieces on a board working in tandem rather than individual players making, you know, kills in their own impact. Ins finding that one onto Hazard is a nice little opener towards that B site, but not one that FlyQuest are choosing to capitalize off of, instead going for this mid-control that Vexside has been able to establish to find their way towards one of these sites, maybe still the B split, leaving Ins behind lurking, maybe to establish that one, but I think really they'll follow the kills, go for where they're able to make this strike, and Pounce leap towards one of these sites, lock it down.
Yeah, it's on a mid-control this round for FlyQuest, uncontested GZ. And, well, they've got the freedom to walk on to A, of course. Both A players far pushed in almost to water at this point. The other two just holding down that B towards the pillars. Dink on Anzi, he'll have to fall back there. But, yeah, this is just FlyQuest slowly working the map with Ins on that lurk. The immediate call is probably get that bomb down, secure themselves in the post plant as well. Molly towards main stops these two CTs that got aggressive. They're going to be gathering a third. Still a few pieces of utility here for GZ to go for it, though.
And again, loving his role in this round, again, just kind of sussing out the information where he's going towards B as his teammates are taking A. Eventually does try and go for that backstab, but being so low already, will be taking it with Slimy. Yeah, GZ saving this one, not really a re-entry path, and JKS in position to shut this down, although not quite going to land those bullets, so will be some damage found by Tux. And rest of the FlyQuest side not really looking to venture onwards. I mean, their economy is, you know, not bad by any means, but certainly carrying these 3 rifles into it does bolster it. So maybe just letting Ground Zero get away with those is the strategic call. 11-4. They're not too concerned about letting them have a couple rifles and giving them a shot at this.
Yeah. FlyQuest starting to feel like slowly on their victory march. Vexite 16-9.
Yeah.
And, well, as you alluded to, Grat's been statistical outlier as well. FlyQuest as well, just slotting him in that AWP role. Normally, he's not on this roster. He's just a stand-in for the event while they work out who to be their permanent 5th. And as I believe was said yesterday, this is realistically, you know, a job application for Grat.
Yeah.
If it's not FlyQuest, it's probably some other high-level team. Grat showing up numbers in a domestic LAN in a team he normally doesn't play with, but has a few experience with a ton of the players. This is like, yeah, Grat saying, hey guys, I'm still here, I'm still active. He just left Altered Ego a month ago, so he's free for the taking.
Yeah. And I'd love to see Grat play on this team at least for a little stint internationally and just see what he's truly capable of. Because he's been so on point this week. And I really feel like the chemistry is still there between these players that he's played with before. And some of the ones he hasn't as much, but just, again, where he's just slotted in effortlessly. And it feels like after FlyQuest cycling international AWPers for so long that, you know, maybe just going with the tried and tested. Yeah, bringing it back home. Full Oceanic roster would be kind of nice.
Yeah, no, it feels fitting. Guy like Grat to wave the Oceanic flag once again as they try to take up some dark control here. JKS just popping some nades through to dark. GZ double stacking this one, so they're leaving main completely open. Hazza finding one on a JKS. The molly goes out to B a main. FlyQuest really slowing this one down on the clock. APOC, perfect flash as well to blind FlyQuest as they walk in. And Omichella and APOC will collect. One player left. It's Gratisfaction stuck in the corner. Taken by Omichella. And that's got to be him getting loud.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
None other than him.
You can tell. You can absolutely tell. That was Omi. And you know what? Fair enough. Being able to find that crucial first buy round on the CT side and stop what has been this, you know, just on slowly but continuously charging forth FlyQuest momentum, putting at least a little dent in that certainly has to feel nice. FlyQuest will still have enough money in the bank, getting a, you know, not the best buy. I mean, after all, MP7 and a Tech 9 in the mix, it will muster up something to go for this round, and will again just kind of play this mid-centric default. A lot of utility being there back and forth. Ultimately, the Ground Zero side just fighting it from pretty far back, letting them have a little control. As a treat.
A little bit of a treat as well. GZ, as we alluded to yesterday in their series against Thunder, not one that normally take the gun rounds, but that last one picked up. Shows some good signs for GZ, but still, uphill battle, right? 6 rounds to tie this one up that we'll need to see from GZ in a row. FlyQuest, of course, a little bit of a weaker buy to this round. Galil MP7's in the mix, and, well, GZ, well, FlyQuest, they're trying to bait out all the utility out of GZ. But for the moment, Slimy going to be towards camera here. Timing's not going to be great. He turns away. He's going to be flashing for his teammates. He's going to get caught out, and Vexite, the moment's a pounce there.
Yep, they will be able to absolutely take charge and make the most of that one. Finding those 3 massive openers and getting that bomb down as well. Hazza looking to try and seek revenge, but will fall to Inns. JKS, or will find Inns. JKS will be able to get that trade though, so it's down to Omichella in the 1-on-4, and FlyQuest now going to be able to get to series point pretty effortlessly, I would say. And FlyQuest, look, they've been absolutely unstoppable this event, including this series. They have a record of an 8-0 in maps, have not dropped a single beat. I don't even know, I'll have to check, but I'm not even sure they've even let another team hit double digits against them this weekend.
No, I don't think
I'm pretty
so.
sure they haven't.
All singles, I believe 13-7. GZ was probably the closest. But for FlyQuest, dominant streak of form just continues to show why they're the top dogs and why everybody was like, okay, we get FlyQuest back at home, that's pretty cool, but they're just going to come here, take everybody's hard-earned VRS points and just go back international.
We have FlyQuest at home. FlyQuest at home. I mean, gotta say, and again, like we've been saying, Gratisfaction being part of this roster too. I think if anyone in FlyQuest management is watching, I'm sure they are, taking notes.
Good APOC though. Good shot. Takes out JKS, wallbang there over towards middle. That's I guess the luxury of having CT side on a map like Anubis. You can go for peeks through that window there. And for FlyQuest, it's going to be still 4 to put this one together slowly. GZ going to be still holding for that mid control. APOC, of course, taking a little bit more of a passive line. He does have Slimy over at Cameron to help him out. And for FlyQuest, it's about playing the mind games, right? They're trying to pull GZ out of rotation, out of form here, and then they just can ruthlessly execute a side.
Ruthless and undeterred. That kind of sums up FlyQuest this weekend.
Yeah.
Not just this series. I think every single time we've kind of seen them. Like Vexide looking ruthless, particularly fighting those 3. And that's just absolutely brutal. Tux now left in the 1-on-4, an impossible situation with all of these Ts left surrounding. Bomb to go down shortly if they're not just going to go for this kill shot. Rats playing around the corner. Eventually it's the knife to get it done.
Wow.
What an unbelievably brutal way to end it. But that is going to be that. FlyQuest, with an effortless 2-0, will be taking out the grand finals and are your champions of the HyperX Nationals AUNZ LAN. And we throw it to our analyst desk to break that one down for us for the final time.
Well, what a unceremonious way to win that one, unfortunately. I mean, a swift 2-0 from FlyQuest. They take care of business. They show that they are the top dog in the region. Gentlemen, that Anubis map was something that... I mean, it's something that we expected, but something that we didn't want to see.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to see your opposition roll in such quick fashion, but that's just the nature of FlyQuest at this event, right? Like, they haven't really taken any prisoners. They haven't had to. They're here for one thing and one thing only, and they made it pretty clear that they were here to win. So not only did they take the massive prize pool, but also the bolstering of those VRS points, and that's exactly what that means for these guys. And you can see that they're here. They're about the business. The business was winning the event. And that's what they did.
Well, yeah, I mean, Hazza still a incredible event for GZ, even though they do go down in the grand final. They finally are able to get the monkey off their back in terms of beating TDU. How do you reckon this event's gone for GZ overall, even though they finished second?
I mean, again, you can't ask for much more, considering also with a stand-in, Tux did what they could, but you have to think about to the future where they will have Vision most likely in that lineup. In that case, I mean, GZ are only going to get better. So, yeah, look, disappointing way to sort of end it. I think they would have liked to, challenge FlyQuest a little more. But if we're looking at it realistically, the fact they got this far, I think they're over the moon. And hopefully, we'll see them in a few months' time here doing the exact same things and with a full 5 lineup.
You'd really hope so too. And I mean, do you think that we should be expecting map changes for GZ in their map pool? Of course, Dust 2, which has sort of been their comfort pick for the past year or so, hasn't necessarily been as consistent as I guess they really wanted. Do you think that's going to be a potential change that comes in?
Well, I mean, they're perma-banning Cache right now, right?
Yeah.
So, like, as far as they're concerned, they're not really too comfortable on the new map. Very difficult event for them to try and pick it up as well.
Yeah.
So maybe that will change in the future. Maybe they can add a few more strings to their bow in terms of their map pool. But yeah, for the moment, Dust 2 being their crutch and being worked out quite quickly, quite easily by FlyQuest doesn't bode for them too well if they want aspirations beyond this region, right? Like at the moment, obviously you've had FlyQuest coming over here, playing events to get VRS points because currently where they're situated, that's not possible.
Yep.
So it could be a very real possibility that they are going to play more events here. That they're going to need those VRS points come around this next major cycle. So if Ground Zero themselves want to be in that position to stretch their legs beyond this region, they're going to need to pick up more maps in that pool, have a few more things going their way. At the moment, I'm still pretty happy with their I guess overall event as a roster, given the fact they had a coach as a stand-in, given the fact they're only just working things out with 2 new additions to the roster. So all things considered, successful event for Ground Zero. But looking to the future, that map pool's got to expand if they're going to push.
Yep. Now, Harry, we know you've been our interviewer for this entire event. We've brought the interview to you, mate. You haven't had to walk. You haven't had to go travel. We've got our special guest, Hazza. Chuck the headset on, young fella. Other way. Oh, there we go. That'll work. That'll work. Flip the mic the other way. You've got it at the back of your head, bro.
Fuck it, bro. All good.
You've got that mic. You got that mic the wrong way. But I mean, we spoke to you on media day. We spoke to you on Thursday. You said that third was definitely the expectation. Second would have been amazing. How does it finally feel to beat TDU in this event?
Oh, it feels amazing for sure. I think, especially with what we had, I think we're coming in with a stand-in, our coach. I love Tyler, by the way. He's a fucking legend. Legend. Honestly, it was amazing. Super happy. I think we played really well, and I really love the vibes we had as a team. Just never giving up kind of thing. Even if, doesn't matter the scoreline, we're just chilling. We're playing Counter-Strike as mates, so very important.
Awesome. Good to see that the vibes are good too. As you said, though, new additions to the roster, yourself and Slimy. I noticed Slimy's coming a lot in that mid to late round scenario. Does having that relay between him and APOC Dud really help with your decision making?
Yeah, look, I think it's really good. He's a very energetic player, so he really feels the game, and I think that's really important to have in a team environment. He's been doing a great job. Obviously, we came over together, so I've played with him before. It's really good. The combination of everyone talking, it's really helpful.
And you guys, of course, we'll have that full five once we get the full roster coming in for the next series and tournaments in the future. I guess, what are the plans for you guys? I mean, what is it going to take to make that next step forward where you can, beat Thunder Down Under both regularly and, really challenge a FlyQuest squad that is, the mantle of Australian CS at the moment? Yeah,
I think obviously we need Ethan back, Vision. He's on holidays at the moment, having a chill one.
Lucky boy.
But pretty much, just get back to grinding the game. We've had a bit of a break, obviously, for the past 3 weeks, so we just chilled out. And we keep working together, working hard, and we'll see what happens.
Oh yeah, anything you want to say to the people at home, especially Mama Hazza, because now we're best friends and she doesn't hate me anymore?
She's Mama. She's probably watching. Maybe Nana has as well. Thanks for watching. Thanks to everyone for watching as well. Love you all. Much love.
Appreciate you, Hazza. We'll get you to leave those headphones on the desk, mate.
I don't
let you go. You're fine. They're durable. I've thrown plenty of them. You're fine. We will have sort of our second interview. Of course, we've got the one and only Omichella. Jack, mate.
Yes, boys.
An unlucky grand final, but still overall a good event for you. What's that personal vibe for you?
Oh, I'm feeling good. Can't really complain. I mean, we're versing FlyQuest. They're a great team, but you can't have too many expectations. We came into the event hoping to get top 4. With the stand-in, we're good players. So we definitely exceeded our expectations. We're pretty happy. So yeah.
Cool. I was going to say, playing against FlyQuest now twice in this tournament. What does it feel like the gap is between you and FlyQuest at the moment?
It's not always the aim, because I feel like you can always kill them, right? You can always shoot back. It's more just they're just so much more reactive. They're so quick on what they do. It's always instant. A lot of the teams in Australia, you have to think about it, you have to take your time, all this stuff, where they're just snappy. It's just instant every single time. So it's really hard to play against. Yeah.
And of course, Tux is going to be stepping back into that coaching role going forward. I mean, had a pretty decent showing here doing the stand-in, but how important is he going forward just in that actual coach role?
He's a genius, man. He's got so much experience. It's unreal. Even yesterday against Thunder, he's just raiding them every single round on that CT side when we came back. He's one of the best players I've played with. He's helped me out so much as a player. I just, can't wait to get the team rolling with the full 5 and him.
Oh yeah. Any final thoughts for you, Jack? Anyone you want to thank at home?
Oh, my missus. Shout out Brittany.
Shout out Brittany.
Yep.
Appreciate you,
that's
mate.
The one. Love ya. Let's go, boys. Thanks for the support, lads. Shout out GZ.
Hell yeah. Shout out GZ. Shout out Brittany. We'll get you to leave that headset on the desk if you
Thanks,
could,
lads.
mate. Appreciate you. Of course, second place there for GZ, but they look to be in high spirits.
Absolutely.
I don't mind that at all for GZ, right? They're sort of domestic the domestic sort of prowess continues to precede them. They continue to be a gatekeeper team, and they're finally, stepping up to the big dogs and stepping up to the plate. I don't mind this out of GZ at all.
No, absolutely. They've got their eyes set forward as well.
Yeah.
And now that they're starting to, as we found out, they're working out the difference between them and the teams that are going international. They've been able to claw it back against TDU, who have been overseas. So I think that's a massive amount of confidence for them going forward and playing throughout the rest of at least this major cycle. But as far as what we're seeing out of the players individually, it's looking pretty promising. They can shoot back.
Any thoughts about GZ, Harry?
Yeah, I mean, overall, I think they come out of it pretty happy. Again, once they get that full 5, I just think they, need to just take that next step where they're doing this consistently. I mean, we've already seen, I think, enough out of them that they absolutely feel like that they can do it. And they've shown a bit of it at this tournament, and hopefully they really cement themselves as one of those top 3 teams.
Speaking of the top 3 teams, we do have the top one at the moment here to join us. We'll start with Vexite, mate. So hop in, get that headset on you, young fella. I was about to say, I don't think we've heard a lot from you this event. Not a lot of screaming.
Been pretty quiet, eh?
Yeah. That land in Australia environment, have you at least enjoyed it coming back?
Yeah, it's been amazing, honestly. I really appreciate everything DFRAG's done. I think this is really good for the Australian scene. And it's a canon event, the teams need to get humbled. We let Thunder have it last time, and now we have to start gatekeeping the DFRAGs, so...
Please don't. Please don't.
Awesome. As a roster, throwing Sean into the mix, how easy was he to play with? Because it looked like you guys were pretty comfortable from the offset.
It's honestly been amazing. I was actually quite surprised because I've never played with Sean, surprisingly, throughout my whole career. But he's been really easy to play with. He's good on the fly. And honestly, we had no practice heading into this event, pretty much. We haven't spoke about anything. We just sort of defaulted and played off each other. And I guess it went well. We had some pretty good chem within the team as well. So, yeah, it was nice. It's been really good.
And of course, you guys, as you've said, you're now going to be gatekeeping or trying to gatekeep all these DFRAG and local events. For you guys internationally going forward, and especially sort of working towards that next major, what's going to be sort of the way to, I guess, take that next step, move past the stage 2 and really challenge into those stage 3 teams?
Well, it's consistent practice and getting a 5th. We don't have a 5th right now, so that's definitely the first step forward. And hopefully move to Europe, which is the plan. And yeah, from there, just trust the process, do the work, and the results will come.
Any leak on who that 5th is?
I couldn't tell you, eh?
Could you hypothetically say who hypothetically could be joining FlyQuest as their hypothetical 5th?
I think it's this bloke up here.
Hashtag fly high, hashtag fly win.
Might be Conky actually to join you boys next.
Could be.
Appreciate you, mate. Congratulations in the grand final. Congratulations on the win. Congratulations on the VRS. We'll get you to leave the headset on the desk for us as
thanks, boys.
We'll start off with, I think, New Zealand's shining light here in the Counter-Strike scene. Kitten, aka Netic, headset on, mate. It's good to hear from you, mate.
How's it going?
It's good to hear from you.
Not bad, mate.
Of course, it's been a bit of a storied career for you, at least at these lands. You finally joined the big dogs and you come back to win it. Sort of what's that feeling been like to come from an international event back in?
I mean, it's nice to finally win a LAN here in Australia because it's only my second LAN. Obviously, I played the DFRAG last year and we lost, so it feels good. A bit of relief, I guess, but it's kind of expected as well.
We'll get you to take a step closer to Harry for us. He's not that scary. He's not that tall. You got to stop scaring the poor kids, Harry. Jesus.
What do you want me to do, man?
Not scare
Just
them.
looms large, doesn't he? Look, individually, in terms of your career trajectory, playing in the major, right, playing with these guys as well, how's it feel to be stepping up and playing against players who have got a bit more experience on that circuit? Like, your individual levels certainly able to match it. Does that give you a lot of confidence?
Oh, I mean, absolutely. Like, I don't know, the more international stuff we play, the better we get, especially like individually as well. So, yeah, it's always good.
And you guys, of course, missed out on this event. Stuck with some travel issues, we'll say, for that one there. But he's been with the team now for at least about 5 or 6 months in that coach role. How important has his sort of experience and just work as a coach been for you guys?
Nah, not important at all, because we wouldn't without him. Nah, I'm kidding.
Obviously.
Nah, Aaron's awesome. Like, he's helped a lot with, like, bringing people together and, like, the structure of the team and bringing in strats, like, all the stuff that coaches do. Like, he's been really good.
I was going to say, also, too, just quickly on that, I think I saw an interview at the major with Josh saying that he's brought in to bring you guys a bit of discipline. Do you certainly feel that in server?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. You fuck up, he'll punish you.
So Gomez isn't taking over the coach role, you don't think?
Oh, I mean, maybe in the near future. We'll see.
He's old.
That could be the new fifth.
He can all.
Could
He's
be
a
the
tree.
new fifth.
He's a tree orper. He doesn't move much, but he can orp.
Absolutely.
Of course, anyone you want to thank at all, Nedic?
Oh, everyone.
No one in particular?
Nah.
Too easy, mate. Keep it short, keep it sharp. I like that. We'll get you to leave the headset on the desk. Thank you very much to Vexite and Nedic for joining us here. Congratulations to them for winning that grand final, and we'll let them go celebrate, as I'm sure they will. Because Azza's not here, they won't get punished.
Exactly. No punishment for them. And even in winning the event, there's no punishment, so that's good.
Sorry, I had production in my ear. I didn't hear what you said at all because you mumbled.
I mumbled?
Yeah, you mumbled.
I didn't mince my words.
Wow.
No, I don't mince any words, actually.
No, true, you're vegetarian.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The breast team, I think, or the breast casters in the business who've got in this beautiful production.
I'm not competent from you, mate.
If he minced his words there, he would have said schnitzel.
True.
That's awful. You know what? Let's get back on topic. Let's have a little bit of a tournament overview to those who are sticking around. We'll have a bit of a look at how we did get to FlyQuest winning out this grand final. Boys, it's been a long run for FlyQuest. They get through without dropping a map. They get through without giving up double digits in any of their maps. I think they got close against GZ on that first Dust 2, but
TDU, didn't they get 10 on them?
I think that was the only one. Yeah.
I think it was 13-10 the first map.
Maybe.
Yeah. And then, of course, they dumped them afterwards, so everyone forgot. And then TDU lost.
I was going to say it was 13-10 and 13-1.
Yeah. So technically they won 11 rounds.
You take them as you can get, but that playoff bracket, of course, GZ having themselves a bit of an upset in that third place decider against TDU. They finally get the monkey off their back, and we spoke about how big that would be for them. But for TDU, I can imagine potential disappointment for them.
Massive disappointment. I mean, they came here, they should have been playing in that grand final today. I think they know that, and from the discussions that I had with Ali last night, like they were disappointed. They felt like they played down to competition maybe a little, but also GZ just got in their heads and didn't better on the day. So if anything, at least it is like that little learning experience that they'll have to take, and hopefully they come back stronger for it. But yeah, they'd be massively disappointed with this result.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say they had their sights set on the grand final and, settling the score here domestically between the two teams. Obviously, they had that major matchup where they were the victims of a pretty, brutal second map themselves. So I think as far as, their redemption arc is concerned, they wanted it to be here at this event, but it seems like it's going to be pushed out to another circuit event here.
How do you reckon that matchup goes next?
Well, I don't think Thunder Down Under are necessarily the team that are going to be slacking either. They've got Eddie Viridian in the coaching slot there, and he's got the theory for them. Now it's just about execution in server and not being put off by some of these, I guess, pretty aggressive counterplays coming out of FlyQuest at least. Like we saw them, when these teams are setting up and they're trying to take choke points. FlyQuest just love collapsing on them and completely throwing chaos into the mix, and that's where they really do like playing off each other and thriving. So, firstly, they've got to deal with that.
Yep.
It's not the strat book; it's the execution.
Harry, any idea on what happens in that next matchup between TDU and FlyQuest if we do get one?
Well, you'd imagine TDU are going to be even hungrier now. I mean, you lost the first matchup, the major. It happens. You got to that point already. You lose to them here, and it's basically the exact same results. On paper, nothing has changed, and I feel like for TDU, they would feel like they've been putting in the practice to make that happen. Hasn't shown up at this event, but yeah, they're going to come back. If they get that chance against FlyQuest again, they're going to be all in for it.
Well, I mean, we were slated to have a show match, but we've been told that's cancelled, so that's fine. they don't get to see Kiss Tony. They looked as if FlyQuest were scared of Kiss Tony personally. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, overall, thoughts and feelings on the event. Any team that you've always wanted to highlight? Any team that you've always wanted to talk about?
Look, probably for me, it's all the teams that didn't make it to playoffs that I want to talk about, in the sense that these are the kind of events that they're going to benefit the most from. It's not playing in any other event online. It's actually turning up to an event like this and playing in a LAN environment. So the results might not have gone their way, but their heads need to be held firmly towards the future. So, for them, it's about going and studying what they need to do to get themselves prepped for game day, because I have no doubt online, no doubt in my mind that these matches will be closer online. So
what's the difference and what's lost in translation between online and LAN. They're going to have to go and make sure that they're prepped and ready for for everything. That's a pretty cool graphic.
It's a really
Shuckers.
We love that graphic.
That's almost a smile from Jackass.
I think that's the closest we'll get.
Yeah. It's happy, very happy. Joy in his eyes.
Joy in his eyes, yeah. There's no vein in the forehead, so he's actually in a pretty good mood there. As you can tell, he doesn't smile. It's just whether the vein's bulging in his forehead. But yeah, Harry, any final thoughts and feelings for that final event at all? Anything that you wanted to highlight that you feel like we may have looked over?
No, I think we've covered everything pretty nicely. Look, the event itself, I think, it's been good fun. I think everyone's definitely enjoyed themselves. The DFRAG team, as a whole, production-wise, has put on a great show. And yeah, the teams as well delivered plenty of fantastic maps and highlights throughout. And these things are only going to get bigger, better. As you pointed out there, James, the teams that are, went behind and didn't make playoffs, who've fallen a bit short in their expectations, there's going to be plenty more opportunities for them. So you do the grinding online, you get to these LAN events, they'll learn from that experience, go forward. Think of a team like Mindfreak, first time here, make top 4. I mean, if that doesn't give you confidence, I don't know what does.
Speaking of confidence, we're going to confidently wrap this show up. Of course, a very big thank you to you guys at home for joining us through. Congratulations to FlyQuest. Hope you guys have yourselves an amazing day, night, no matter wherever you are in the world. I've been Flamboyant, joined by the one and only Jim Nesso and Has Daddy Slim. Have yourselves an amazing night.